My name is James Rowlands. In 2015, I teamed up with my friend Dan White to create the WNR podcast. Since then, we have been giving you everything that's happened on the WWE Network. Now, in 2018, not only are we live for the Big Four events and every NXT takeover, but we celebrate 20 years since the birth of the Attitude Era. Plus, every month we'll bring you 205 Live, collections, new content, W pay-per-views and latest news on the WWE Network. Until we've watched everything, we are with you, and we are the WNR. Yes, hello, I am James Rowlands, and as always, I'm joined by
Dan White.
And today, it is the WNR UK Special Part 2. But before we do anything, let's start with the alternate intro. When Britain's first, at Heaven's command, arose from out the Azure main. Arose from out the Azure main. This was the charter of the land, and the guardian angels sang this strain. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britons never ever shall be slaves. Rule Britannia, Britain rules the waves. Britons never shall be slaves. That is Rule Britannia, and that is it for the alternate intro.
There's a lot about slaves there.
There is. We shall never be slaves.
Well, ever since we started this podcast, the British wrestling scene has flourished.
Now as 2018 comes to an end, there is more UK content than ever. So, on the second part, we will rate and review not only NXT UK, but Rev Pro and World of Sport.
So, without any further ado, let's get started.
Well, we delayed the release of the UK special after we got some very sad news.
The Dynamite Kid, Tom Billington, passed away on his birthday at the age of 60.
After suffering from numerous illnesses over 2 decades, he is also wheelchair-bound due to leg and back injuries he sustained in the ring.
Legendary British wrestler Marty Jones broke the news earlier today via his Twitter.
It's with great sadness I have to inform you all that the Dynamite Kid, Tommy Billington, on his birthday has passed away. A true British ambassador for wrestling worldwide. R.I.P. Kid. Condolences to Mark and his family, Marty Jones.
Tom Billington was born in Goulburn, Lancashire, in 1958. He made his wrestling debut in 1975, where he worked for Max Crabtree on World of Sport. He won numerous titles, including the British welterweight and light heavyweight titles. He moved on to Stampede Wrestling, where his stature grew further, leading to a tour with New Japan Pro Wrestling.
His run in legendary battles with Tiger Mask, which many people see as putting junior heavyweight wrestling on the map. Billington went on to win the WWF light heavyweight title, which was only defended in Japan, defeating the Cobra in the tournament final.
He then gained notoriety in WWF, where he teamed with the Davey Boy Smith to form the British Bulldogs. Alongside their faithful dog Matilda, they captured the WWF Tag Team titles at WrestleMania 2, defeating Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Billington suffered a serious back injury in a tag team match in Hamilton, Ontario. His final match in WWF was part of a victorious team at the 1998 Survivor Series. And, you know, a bit of information about one of his injuries. Hang on. In one of these matches with the Bulldogs, that he couldn't actually make it to the ring. He was in hospital, and Bulldog back him to the ring to go onto the apron to be knocked down for Bulldog to basically wrestle and then lose the match. Luckily, it was only 90 seconds, but, you know, Dynamite Kid's body absolutely broke down there, you know. After leaving the WWF, though, he went to Stampede Wrestling, winning the International Tag Team Championship, and also worked in All Japan Pro Wrestling, winning the All Asia Tag Team Championship.
Well, Billington announced his retirement in 1991, but returned to All Japan in 93 and wrestled his final Shinoku Pro in 1996.
Yeah, and I mean, the Dynamite Kid is kind of an absolute legend, not only in Britain but around the world as well, because like you say, he redefined the sport as it was, you know, from the era of giant haystacks and Big Daddy and people like that. This guy kind of brought it, and a lot of people based their careers are based on moves. Most famously, Chris Benoit is one of those who saw how he wrestled and diving headbutt and stuff like this, and took it to the. We are going to have a couple of examples of Bulldog matches in a minute, but we're just going to talk about the wrestling world's already been pouring its condolences to the Dynamite Kid.
You had Davey Boy Smith Jr., son of the legendary Davey Boy Smith. Professional wrestling as we knew it today. He flew high and gave it his all in every match. Thanks for everything, and sad to have lost another family member. Rest in peace, Dino.
Will Ospreay said, I heard the news that Tom Billington, also known as Dynamite Kid, thank you for all the work you've done for our country and inspiring so many wrestlers to take a chance on themselves. R.I.P. Dynamite. Paige
went, damn, R.I.P. Dynamite Kid.
Well, Bret Hart said there are people in life that have a ripple effect both professionally and personally. Dynamite Kid was one of those people. The second professional wrestling match of my career was against Dynamite. Benefited from his greatness, and through our matches in Stampede, WWE, and everywhere in between, I became a better wrestler because of him. Dynamite truly was the best wrestler ever, pound for pound. Tom was family, my brother-in-law, and we were very close. In many ways, I felt like one of the few people who truly knew him, both the good and the bad. I saw Tom one final time this past June in England, and I can only hope he is finally at peace. My thoughts were with his children, Brown, Marique, and Amaris, and the entire Billington family. And from Bret Hart, though, actually.
That is a lot of class, yeah. You had Natalia, she went on to say, saddened to hear the passing of Dynamite Kid, one of the greatest professional wrestlers to ever lace up a pair of wrestling boots. My dad said Dynamite Kid was his favourite person to wrestle, hands down. Dynamite was a wrestler who truly gave it his all, whether he was competing in England, Japan, WWE, or in Stampede Wrestling, for my grandpa. He poured his heart and soul into matches. He sacrificed to be the very best. Bret Hart described Dynamite Kid as being pound for pound one of the greatest wrestlers who ever lived. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family.
Well, the Iron Sheik said, excellent worker inside the ring, tough man outside. God bless the Dynamite Kid.
Bruce Bob Beefcake went on to say, sad to hear that Dynamite Kid has passed away. R.I.P. brother.
Chris Jericho said he was one of the greatest who ever laced up boots. He was a huge influence on me since 1986. He once told me to fuck off, Peg, and he is a true legend and pioneer in our business.
Lance Storm said, every wrestler under £200 likely owes a debt of gratitude to the Dynamite Kid. He inspired so many to help change the sport. In the ring, he was incredible. The only wrestling t-shirt I ever purchased was a British Bulldog shirt, which I wore to WrestleMania 4. R.I.P.
Kyle O'Reilly says, saddened to hear about the passing of Dynamite Kid. There was a time I watched every Dynamite match I could get my hands on, including the tribute video countless times. Despite many attempts of recreating his magic, I would never come close.
Frankie Kazarian, R.I.P. Dynamite Kid. One of my first favourites. One of the first to make me realise that amongst the larger-than-life wrestling characters in the 80s, there were straight-up incredibly athletic wrestlers. A true game-changer in every sense of the word. Godspeed.
Cassius as many Dynamite Kid matches as possible today, particularly his match with his Tiger Mask. He was before his time, as influential as any professional wrestler in the last 40 years.
And my man TJP went on to say, Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask made me want to be in New Japan when I was younger, even more so than the WWF. My first ever real job in wrestling happened to be New Japan as soon as I graduated high school and turned 18. To say it was an honour to step into the ring in the company where these two, what we know as today as cruiserweights, is an understatement. I'm very sad to hear that we lost Dynamite.
My man Mauro Ranallo says, I grew up watching him tear the house down weekly on Stampede Wrestling TV show. He's one of my favourite in-ring performers, especially his matches with Sato Satomura, aka the original Tiger Mask in Japan. R.I.P. Tommy Dynamite Kid.
Tyler Bates said, gutted to one of my heroes and biggest inspirations. R.I.P. Dynamite Kid.
And finally, El Ligero, part of NXT UK, said, one of the most important pioneers of wrestling world has ever had a true worker who was years ahead of his time and someone who inspired so many wrestlers and will for generations to come. You know, rest in peace, Dynamite Kid.
And finally, Jeff Jarrett, that's JEFFJARRETT, said thoughts and prayers to all the family and friends of Tom Dynamite Kid Billington, a true in-ring pioneer in the professional wrestling industry. R.I.P.
And at a house show on December the 6th, Natalia pay tribute to Dynamite Kid with a flying headbutt through a table onto Sarah Logan at a house show as well. And there's videos online if you do want to see that. But seeing as everybody's been talking about it, Dan, shall we have a look at a couple of the Dynamite Kids matches? Because it's all well and good being talking. Like I said, these matches were 30 years ago now. You know, they're high praise indeed, aren't they, from people?
Well, I would say that I have never watched a Dynamite Kid match.
Yeah, it's a singles match, yeah. We've definitely seen the Bulldogs on the podcast, but I don't think we've seen, like say, a singles match. We're going to watch a couple now. And the first up, weirdly enough, Superstar Picks, which is a thing they do every month on the network. Becky Lynch's picks. She picks out Tiger Mask versus the Dynamite Kid, saying they're both ahead of the time. So let's just watch the match and just see if they were or not. Because, say, but we're going to try and see if it's true or not. So we've got the Dynamite Kid versus Tiger Mask from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So August 30th, 1982, Madison Square Garden. He's a small guy. He put on so much muscle mass. Him and David Boy Smith, 140, 80 pounds. But even Becky Lynch is saying you can't not be a wrestling fan and not enjoy this. And we're doing it on the UK special here.
He looks like Benoit.
Well, Benoit looks like him. And Rey Mysterio nicked the 619 from Tiger Mask.
Well, I suppose.
Not many people are used to this. You might see people in masks, but usually big, angry giants. Not small guys. And these two guys, we get in the cruiserweight division nowadays. There's Dynamite. I mean, also very similar to Neville as well, in that way, kind of that build that you've got. Very well built. I mean, the guy's, definitely got a six-pack. He gets taken down there by Tiger Mask so quick. But now Dynamite grabs the arm. Tiger
Mask managing to flip out of it, but Dynamite Kid doing exactly the same, and it's going again to a stalemate.
And then power there by Dynamite, goes for the elbow. Tiger Mask moves, then catches him quick. I mean, this is the 80s. Do you think how quick it is,
Yeah.
I was absolutely loving it as well.
Not a mobile phone inside. Everyone just absorbed in what's going on in the ring.
And talk about how slow wrestling was back then. So he says 194 pounds is Tiger Mask.
Spinning round, drop toe hold.
You talk about chemistry as well between wrestlers. These guys must have fought hundreds, if not thousands of times, throughout the years in Japan, coming to America, So association of someone like Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero, these are the guys that were doing it a decade before and influenced that style coming through. Nice rope, back on the offensive. Well, he didn't need to use ropes usually, you know what I mean? As I say, there were no people going up as Dynamite comes off the second. Now Dynamite picks him up for gut wrench, drops him down, goes for a cover, but Tiger Mask managing to get up at two. Now Dynamite got sleeper on just trying to wear down Tiger Mask.
And, the escape from the Hizzers is nothing that you wouldn't see today. I mean, a lot of wrestlers must have used this as inspiration to, put into their own repertoires.
But he's been up and a kick by Dynamite and a headbutt. Big knife edge chop. Dynamite Irish whipping Tiger Mask into the turnbuckle.
Oh, gut wrench arm drag there was a response.
Tiger Mask is so quick, he can hardly catch up of it. Backdrop to Dynamite, who falls to the outside.
Tiger Mask looking to suicide dive him, but does a 619 and ends up back in the ring. And the fans definitely are appreciating this. As am I. I'm absolutely loving this. There's nothing that wouldn't be out of place nowadays.
And just so quick as well. He's Tiger Mask, the same with Dynamite. I mean, like I said, it's a shame. Nowadays, you would say the Dynamite, oh my God. Yeah, he reminds me of Buddy Murphy.
No, someone good, James.
No, but I'm saying. Putting in the performances, takes down Tiger Mask.
Dynamite Kid trying to slow this down now. He's got a inverted figure four.
Let's not forget he learnt his Stampede wrestling. Hart was there teaching submissions, married into the Hart family. He's going to know his way around the ring technically as well. No, this is nearly 40 years ago. 36 years ago this is taking place. And Dynamite's up to his feet with Tiger Mask. Pulls him into the ropes. And as Tiger blocks a kick, he hits the Insiguri. You got to wonder how many Insiguris were hit at this time.
Yeah.
And he's going all the way up.
Looking for that diving headbutt, but Tiger Mask moves out of the way.
And now can he take advantage of Dynamite's error? Suplexes him down. Now Tiger Mask going up. Twisting moonsault. Goes for the cover. Gets it.
And a victory for Tiger Mask. Absolutely brilliant ringer of a match there.
I think it just proves some people can be a little bit, what's the right word? You know, a bit negative of stuff that's happened in the past. You know, oh, this is 20 years ago, this is 30 years ago. You know, this is 30, like I said, 36 years ago, and yet it still feels like it's something you would see on 205 Live. You talk about guys influencing, you know, people like Chris Jericho said this, Chris Benoit. You know, Rey Mysterio been watching people like Tiger Mask and obviously trying to base it off him. You know, like I'm not saying he completely took the idea, but you can see from Tiger Mask exactly what it's like, you know. And I think it proves that Dynamite, even if he's slightly bigger in this match than Tiger Mask, he just put on such a great effort, you know, and you could see these guys wrestling for, you know, I mean, this was, 8 minutes? I could see he's wrestling for 25 minutes. No problem with that either, you know, so.
Yeah, most definitely.
All right, so let's move on. There's something great on the WF Home Video Classics. It is the British Bulldogs. October 15th, 1986, is where it says it is the match that we're going to try and watch now, but it's 90 minutes long, and you get a couple of British Bulldog matches and single matches, and we're just going to single out a singles match now, and it's going to be Bret Hart versus the Dynamite Kid, because we all know how great Bret Hart is, but this is, like we say, 1986, way before the Hitman that we all know and love.
Well, he's not in pink and black, he's in blue and black.
And it's when the Hart Foundation slightly, you know, just begin to start out, and the Dynamite Kid now part of the Bulldogs. I mean, look how young Bret looks here. Who would have thought that man would become the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be? There is not that much difference in size between him and Dynamite. You could argue Dynamite's in better shape at this moment in time.
God, fucking hell, especially from the last match we saw. You
can definitely see he's putting on muscle mass as, you know, the matches go on.
It looks like Chris Benoit.
We've got Gorilla Monsoon and Lord Alfred Hayes commentary. Bret with a leapfrog there. And Dynamite caught him.
Slingshot into the top turnbuckle.
Hitman goes to the outside. And now Dynamite's going up to the top.
But Bret, being wise, is walking round away from the Dynamite Kid.
And Bret's back in now after taking a breathe on the outside. Colin Elbow tie up. Cutting the corner to get the advantage on Dynamite. Irish whip.
Oh, Bret Hart looking for the kick to the midsection, but getting caught by Dynamite. Oh, atomic drop just drops Bret on the mat.
You know, we talk about the chemistry Tiger Mask and Dynamite had in the last match, and in this one here, you know, Bret saying that is his second match of his career against Dynamite. So just imagine how many times he trained with him, how many times that they actually fought each other in the ring.
Lovely snap suplex, goes for the cover, but Bret managing to kick out.
Oh. Well, this is presented in the most complete form possible due to original production technical difficulties. That's why we've had a little bit of trouble with it so far. But both men reversing each other. Now Dynamite getting ahead of steam.
Well, Bret and Dynamite went underneath the bottom ropes slightly, and then Bret kind of flew between the second and third ropes.
And now Bret's recovered and back in. Let's take his time now. Well, that is lovely by Dynamite. Got hold of Bret, managing to Northern Light suplex him. Grabs the arm, but Bret nips up.
Grabs a handful of hair and just drags Dynamite Kid to the mat.
And Bret showing his speed and agility. Irish whip now to Dynamite. And huge knees to the midsection.
Turn Dynamite Kid inside out. And Bret Hart, kind of his heelish self, going to the hair a couple of times.
And comes down off the second rope. Smashing Dynamite in the head. And again with the elbow. And a lovely leg drop there. It's just Bret Hart is perfect in some of the things he does in the ring. And Dynamite now selling his best, getting sent into that top turnbuckle.
In only his second match.
Oh my God, and they've gone to the outside now, and Bret picks up Dynamite, slams him down, but Dan, there's no mats there.
There isn't any wafer thin mats there, let alone...
Mats?
Mats.
So he just slams him on the cold, hard, concrete floor.
Gorilla Monsoon and Alfred Hayes both calling for a disqualification for Bret Hart.
And I agree with them.
But a ref giving him the benefit of the doubt. Bret Hart continued to work on the back, delivers a backbreaker, goes for a cover, but Dynamite Kid managed.
And I'll tell you what is weird, going back and seeing Bret back then, a lot of things he learnt very early on and then kept doing, if you know what I mean. Just that little passage there. I mean, that is just so Bret Hart. It's Dynamite now, sunset flip. Ooh.
Rolls up Bret, but Bret managing to kick out.
And
Bret, going for the stomp to the gut.
kept hold of that leg after the pin attempt by Dynamite. And a headbutt, but I don't know how clever that is from Brett. We know how hard Dynamite's head is. Catching him with uppercut.
Upper what?
Upper what? Brett saying he's the man. Another uppercut and a back elbow. Tries it again, but Dynamite this time catches him in a backslide. But Brett managing to kick out. Irish whip, and again, breaker.
The Dynamite Kid spinning all the way through and delivering a backbreaker of his own to Brett. Finally getting some separation. Now both men are down.
Oh, now Brett just hanging up Dynamite on those ropes. He's got caught and Dynamite can't go anywhere. Brett is going to run the ropes now.
Oh, Dynamite manages to escape. Brett crutches himself on the top rope.
I tell you something, the ropes are a lot tighter than they were in the last match we saw. If he'd done it last match, he's gone flying to maybe the fourth roll there.
Yeah, but they still seem quite loose there.
Well, Brett's testing that they're all right at the moment. Now Dynamite's back in this match.
Runs through Brett with a thunderous clothesline.
I mean, is it scary how similar he is to Chris Benoit?
It is very scary.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it must be weird going back and watching it if you've never seen Dynamite before.
Honestly, I would have put dollars to donuts if that was Chris Benoit in a ring with him.
I know, that short arm clothesline and everything there, wasn't it? You know?
Yeah. You know, even the fucking headbutt. Standing first into the turnbuckles as well. I mean, did Benoit actually come up with any of his own moves?
Yeah.
Apart from killing his wife and kid, of course.
Well, Brett there caught in that top turnbuckle. And Dynamite with a knee. Goes for the cover, and Brett gets showed up at 2. Well, Benoit would have been known as one of the greatest of all times, obviously, if he hadn't done that. So, does it tarnish Dynamite's past? I mean,
it's all well and good, you know, doing a few moves, i.e. his finisher and that, but pretty much taking his whole repertoire. I know imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, but there's that and there's just fucking ripping someone off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to, you know, I mean, Dynamite has passed, but, I mean, this is a very dark dude as well, you know, there's a lot of stuff that Dynamite Kid done. Obviously not what Benoit did, obviously, but, you know, and we're not going to go into that because we're going to celebrate his career at this moment in time. As he comes off the second rope with a knee to Brett, but can't capitalise on it, took too long. Now he's picking Brett up. Brett managing to push Dynamite off. Oh, Dynamite got caught in that top rope there. Picks up Dynamite. Dynamite rolls behind. Went for the cover, and Brett knew that. Ran towards the ropes, and Dynamite went straight through the second.
Dynamite Kid would spit on homeless people, put a gun to his wife's face, wake her up by yelling, "One day it will be loaded." Got Davy Boy hooked on drugs, broke his niece's kneecaps for the insurance money, and dislocated Mick Foley's jaw off a clothes.
We're not going to mention that because obviously we want to respect the family and the Dynamite Kid, but... Oh!
Sunset flip by the Dynamite Kid, rolls up Brett for the 3.
And we didn't see it thanks to the replay of the other pin attempt, but Dynamite, and Brett's complaining that he grabbed the tights, but Dynamite does beat Brett. So what are your thoughts on that then?
It is scary how very similar Chris Benoit has kind of imitated one of his idols. You know, it is weird, but the bloke was definitely ahead of his time, and he certainly had a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching that then, or you're watching that 10 years later, and you're going, like, those two guys in the ring, yeah, they're both going to have great, you know, careers. If you're going to pick a champion, I might go over Dynamite over Bret Hart there. You would definitely think both men would be mixed in the main event scene. It is kind of horrible what happened to him when his body just broke down then, but you can see from the talent, from the match against Tiger Mask versus Bret Hart, kind of everything else. You'd say a guy ahead of his time, but it is, if he was around this time, you know, imagine mixing with people like Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles and people like that. You know, a tremendous talent, and, you know, he will be missed, you know.
Most certainly, yeah.
So let's cheer ourselves up now by moving on to Rev Pro.
You ready?
So we are ready to start watching Rev Pro, or as it's called, on Free Sports Channel 422 on Sky. So anybody can watch it because it's free sports. It's World of Pro Wrestling. And the first episode was the 19th of October 2018. It's at 9 p.m. World of Pro Wrestling it's called. And Dan, you and I are going to watch the very first episode just straight up, all the way through. And we're going to compare it to NXT UK and, of course, the World of Sport. So at the moment you say maybe NXT UK is leading World of Sport a little bit. well, maybe a lot in certain respects, but how indeed Rev Pro could do, because we talked about Rev Pro earlier, and it's great that it's on satellite TV now, aren't they, you know?
Indeed, yes. We saw it in probably one of its smallest capacities going. This seems like it's in front of a much larger crowd. I'm not too keen on their ring. They've got kind of like boxing style ring pads in the corners as opposed to separate turnbuckles.
But as we see the promo video now as it starts, we've seen the highlights of, I guess, what the show's going to be. I can see Zack Sabre Jr. is involved. Colt Cabana is there as well. And it's the world of pro wrestling. We're in York Hall, London for this. And Kevin Kelly's on commentary. We haven't seen him in a very long time.
Yes, he's joined by Andy Simons.
And I wonder if that adds anything, Kevin Kelly. Were you a fan of Kevin Kelly in the past? I mean, he famously got called a hermaphrodite by The Rock. But tonight we are going to get Zack Sabre's Kushida. So my pick for the Cruiserweight Classic it was all those years ago is in action here tonight, Dan. Isn't that crazy? We're going to see who else is involved. Of course, the very first episode, we don't know how successful this could be. We see the Rev Pro in the background. They kind of base themselves, now at London. They kind of moved on to the slightly bigger arenas. And they've been doing good business. And people in the past, Dan, I mean, they've had people like Ricochet, haven't they? You name them, they probably had them. AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, EC3, Adam Cole, baby, have all gone through RPW.
The Dominator.
So we're going to see the Dominator here tonight as well.
Who's got a question mark for a face.
So we don't know what he looks like. So we got rules of pro wrestling, Dan. They're going to tell us the rules of pro wrestling.
Well, all matches have a 30-minute.
Matches won by pinfall, submission, KO, countout, or DQ.
So they can be won by Kevin Owens?
No, not Kevin Owens, just knockout, I think. We'll find out if Kevin Owens is
Well, a title can only change hands by pinfall, submission, or KO.
Count of 5 for rope break. Oh, okay, so the basic normal wrestling rules then. People that never seen it before.
And a count of 10 by ref to return to the ring before they are counted out if they are on the outside of the ring.
Nothing groundbreaking there. But we're going to go to our ring announcers. One fall, no matter what, if it's only the UK or we're here watching it, Rev Pro. One fall. It will be said, and oh my word. Here comes Jushin Thunder Liger.
No, it's Justin.
So yeah, the absolute legend coming out here. What's weird about this as well, Dan, is that he was on the very first episode of Monday Nitro that we watched. So you go back all those years now, 23 years ago on the first Nitro, now on the first World of Pro Wrestling. Will it have the same impact, do you reckon?
What, will Kevin Nash take over and completely fuck it up?
Yeah, will we see the NWO here? I mean, but it's an opportunity. We are on Sky, aren't we? And Jushin Thunder Liger, last time we saw him in WWE ways, I think he beat Tyler Breeze at a takeover, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of years ago. So he is a great competitor. This is fun, and he even got, unlike World of Sport, it's not overhang as well.
And he's going against the man known as Chris Brooks.
Well, Chris Brooks means business here. Well, he's getting called a British legend here, Chris Brooks. He comes out.
One half of the tag team, of course, James GCK, the Calamari Catch King.
Well, he's got a great reputation leading into this. So this should be a great contest between him and it's two people that maybe people weren't familiar with, but this is the whole point. Like I said, slightly smaller ring, different setup, no ring mats as well. It'd be good because it gives British wrestling a chance, We're getting more options. That's 3 different promotions, all a chance to see on Sky. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. That when I was young, we had maybe Nitro and TNT if you were lucky, back before that was on, non-Sky, before Sky Digital. And this is about looking at the internet as well. And the crowd are into it here in London. We're going to get a handshake starts off. Yeah, a little thing in the hand, they weren't sure about it. And like I said, British fans are the best in the world. Oh my God, just like that, Liger's got the submission in. Just stretching the bad arm as well, of Chris Brooks. He's trying to get him up.
Well, Brooks trying to deny Thunder Liger to get the surfboard, and he manages to evade it thus far.
And now Liger's got the legs.
Jushin Thunder Liger.
Now that's a good chant. And oh my God, he's up now. Got him in the surfboard. Now works back the head. And look how extended Brooks' body is.
I think Thunder Liger's mask is a bit too big.
It is, isn't it? It's a bit, Gets in the way. How would you compare it to like Ligero's? It's in tribute to him, really, isn't it? If you think about it, like
yeah. Well, I think having all them pointy things off it could probably cause a hindrance.
Well, drop toe hold by Liger, going back to the leg, and now trying to get him in the bow and arrow. Oh no, Brooks rolls through for a pin attempt, but only a 1. 1. Well, the camera's on the entranceway, isn't it? So you can see the entranceway there. But there is a crowd behind us here. So it's probably not the best positioning of the camera because it looks kind of not as many people there due to the entranceway. But then again, obviously you haven't got the production value. WWE, fucking hell. No, and Barry Cade nearly fell over onto the fans there. Oh, but this is British wrestling. And again onto the fans. It's not the kind of nice black protection that they got. And on the outside of the chop. There's a bit of black protection. And Liger's in control of this match at the moment. But Brooks sends him into the apron. Is that a referee that we've seen at Rev Pro? Yeah, that is one of the referees we've seen. He's a Rev Pro ref. I know that, but, I don't know didn't know if it was localised or whatever, but yeah. It's the same company that we've seen. They've just moved on slightly, do you know what I mean, in a weird way. So, this is the way they're competing. They've been excited when we first saw them, playing to, 150 people now, sending out London all the time, Bethnal Green, York Hall. An iconic place to have. And the best seats maybe are on the balcony, on the balconies. Probably the best seats there. But again, this crowd doesn't look very big. Yeah, I think this is a problem because they've got the camera kind of... No, I mean, when the camera pans round, the rows behind the camera position, they're only about 4 or 5 deep, and then the ones to the sides... Again, they're only probably about 6, 7 rows deep as well, so... You can't fit that many people in there, You're probably looking at... as Brooks is kind of taken over in this match, got a side headlock to Liger. I'd say there's about 800 people there. 1,200's capacity. 400 out. Yeah. So could be 1,200 on a good day if they rearrange the seats, maybe 1,300 at push. And now Liger's back to his feet, trying to get out of it. Nice clothesline, taking down Brooks. Oh, now Liger looking to go up. Here he comes, flying off the top. Splash, 1, 2. Oh, but a big kick out from Brooks. You're going to shop RevPro.com? Well, this is the good that they've got the advertising there. Of course, you go Rev Pro on the internet. It's quite a good website, actually, compared to most local British guys. Told you where this is. The reason why I knew this was on is because it's promoted on their website. So I think that's quite an important thing they can use as Brooks with a beautiful suplex on the rope, turns him inside out, pulls him in, goes for the cover, but only a 2 count. 2. So you're going to back in this match, James? Thunder Liger? Well, I would have said Liger at the start, but Brooks has really impressed me in this one. He's not let the stage or his competitor kind of overrule him at this time. He seems to be taking it in stride, even though he's obviously carrying a long-standing injury. So I might have to say Brooks in this one. What about you? I'm going to go for the man I know, Thunder Liger. Well, he's just sent out Brooks to the outside. Now here comes Liger off the apron. Oh! And a running senton there. Well, that's more dangerous to take than in WWE because obviously the outside barricade, the outside ring mat stand, like half an inch fit. Where are they now? There are none. There are. It's just hard wood flooring. Thunder Liger. That is probably one of my favourite chants I've heard throughout this podcast. He comes off the top with a splash, knees up by Brooks. He goes for the cover, but Liger kicks out. Knees up, Mother Brown. Knees up. Now Brooks calling for the end here. He's got him in the underhook. Liger's managing to fight out. Oh my God, chop to the face. Looks to charge on Brooks. Gets his feet up. Blake just fires up Thunder Liger, who comes in with like a rolling heel kick. Uh-oh, now Brooks in trouble. The Liger bomb. Oh my God, picks him up, drops him near a short, and Brooks somehow gets showed up at 2. 2. And I think, because he's tripped. Trying to pick him up, mate. Try it again now. Suplex time. Brain buster. God. 2, 3. He's not getting up from that. Big brain buster by Jushin Thunder Liger. Dan, he gets a victory. What are you thinking of our first match on Rev Pro?
It was an impressive match. I think it was more of a showcase match as opposed to a wrestling match, if you know what I mean.
Well, so I think it's a great way to introduce people maybe never watched wrestling before to what it is here. You know, this is kind of at the start wrestling, and hopefully as the show moves on, it warm up a little bit. But it's good to have a star like Liger here, and look at the respect now with him and Brooks. That is classed act.
And Thunder Liger bows to Brooks, says that he's been a brilliant competitor.
Yep. Shake hands. What a lovely moment. I hope Brooks knows he's been in when Liger lifts the arm of Brooks.
Oh! Brooks with a low blow.
Oh! Now getting booed out of the building because he's beating down Liger. What a sore loser. And Chris Brooks is trying to unmask Liger. Don't you dare.
No, Brooks.
This is unbelievable. An absolute legend. And here comes El Fantasmo.
Who doesn't look Spanish whatsoever.
Well, El Fantasmo's there checking on Liger. And we're told we've got a lot of action to come on Revolution Pro. But, wait, not a bad way. Quite a cool little hill turn there, Dan.
It was, yeah, you know, a bit of a drama on the first match on the first episode.
Yeah. It's an advert. I'm fast forwarding the adverts as we speak. There we go. We're back. Hang on a minute. Oh my God, it's not, is it?
It can't be.
No, it's not, is it? Oh my God, Dan!
Yes!
Lord Gideon Grey. Dan, tell everybody why we're so excited.
Well, we've seen Lord Gideon Grey. He had hair when we saw him.
He's shaven.
But we saw him back in the local independents. I'm just.
It was worth it, wasn't it? It was. I didn't even know Gideon Grey was going to be here. Right, let's let him talk, and then we'll talk about him. That's a girl's name. Well, Lord Gideon might be a manager now, then. Oh, he's introducing a Dominator.
Lord Gideon Grey.
Well, Lord Gideon's kind of William Regal / Hunter Hearst Helmsley kind of posh guy type. He's been around for ages. He was wrestling, but I mean, we are talking about 5 years ago, so aren't we? So,
yeah.
But here comes Great O'Khan, the Dominator, with a question mark on his face. Is he going to wrestle out for the majority of the match, you reckon? So the Dominator is unbeaten. Great O'Khan. Oh my God, this could be interesting to see. Lord Gideon had an association with a couple of weird stereotypes back in the day as well, didn't he, actually? I think he had like an Indian butler. Gideon is there. What a weird gimmick.
Well, he is going against Harrison Thompson.
So he's going for the gimmick then. So Great O'Khan, we'll see if he's any good or not. I guess this will be a squash. He used to be from New Japan Pro Wrestling as a jobber, but they're trying to build him up in this one. And he's going straight after Harrison. I don't think Harrison's name really matters in this one.
No, the name that matters is Lord Gideon.
No, the name that matters is the Great O'Khan.
The Dominator.
Yeah, and he's going to put him away with those chops. Guy's been taught by the Wild Simones at some point as well. Got that vicious look about it. Reminds me a little bit of Meng.
Oh, hangs him up on the top rope.
Well, I tell you what, Harrison was like a javelin there.
And the rope was the javelin catcher. Harrison Thompson there looking in a lot of trouble.
Bye-bye, Harrison Thompson. No, wait a minute, gets out of it. Sends a Great O'Khan into the corner. And Harrison Thompson with the forearms.
No effect, though. He gets pushed off.
Uh-oh.
Ducks the clothesline attempt.
Oh.
Goes down low.
Now Thompson again with a drop kick, but it's not dropped Great O'Khan. Third time lucky now.
Catches him. Face first into the mat.
And now this might be it. Oh my God, it's a claw. It's a claw, Dan. Bends him over the back.
And it's like a torture rack with the claw. One of the most dominating holds in all of wrestling.
Oh my God, and he may be out. And just to put an exclamation point on it,
he choke slams him by his face.
Head goes for the cover. Job done. Great O'Khan with a Great O win. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Lord Gideon Grey, James!
No! Who would have thought Lord Gideon was here? I bet he's going to come in and say something now as well. But you're a pretty bog standard squash match. Well, Gideon is very happy about that. And why wouldn't you be?
Indeed.
The Great Icon. Did he show you anything in this match to impress you, Dan?
Not really, no.
We'll see as World of Pro Wrestling continues. But don't forget, we've got Kushida versus Zack Sabre Jr. still to come here tonight. And that should be a cracking match. Well, Dan McGee is getting one-on-one time with Kevin Kelly right now. Oh, he says helping grow a performer. But here comes Shah Samuels. He said he's not been in Rev Pro for a year. He's the longest reigning fucking Rev Pro champ. What fucking aim? I do like Shah Samuels, so he's on Rev Pro as well as sport. Fair play to him. Hey, well done, Shah. You did get little social clubs on Free Sports TV. And he's going crazy with contract and all. And McGee pulling Shah Samuels off. That's a great idea.
You don't pull Shah Samuels off.
Well, no, Samuels now beating him down. These two men are fighting. Oh. And here comes security, I think, or fans. Well, here come the referees, officials, stopping them. Well, it's about his love of British professional wrestling.
Well, since me and CM Punk there, we was friends, and then he sued me, and then I lost the court case, and then I became like a desperate man for money. No top companies will sign me. I tried, going to some top promotions, but I lasted about a week in them. I featured in one Royal Rumble main event.
Well, you see him making appearances. The old Rev Pro, there we are! No!
That is us!
No, we were there. He was champion. Let's not forget about Colt being champion. He was there for 15 years.
He is a cult of personality. You see him beating Shah Samuels, former.
My God, that's when we first started watching it. I don't know why I went off Colt Cabana. I think it's because when we met him.
He was a dick.
He was a bit of a dick, but I mean, not to go into too much
details, but you know, he was a dick.
He was. He just
wanted
the money and didn't really have any time for anybody. So
he thought he was too big for it. Whereas Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, they were on the same level of us.
Exactly.
You know, we had a nice civilised conversation with Drew, our mate.
Mate Drew and our mate Ricochet chatting around. And, you know, not once, twice, you know, it's good.
3 times a lady.
And Colt Cabana can pretend to do this, but he's still doing this. And, you know, we look at where the others are.
He needs money because he's got, like, the 7th best podcast ever after the WWE Network review.
Well, Colt Cabana's in action next week. So we're back, and we're going to get a tele tape for these two guys. And obviously I've got Zack Sabre Jr. because he was my pick, Dan. So you can do Kushida.
Well, Kushida's from Tokyo, Japan, £192, 5'9", 35 years old, and he's been a pro for 13 years. He's a 5-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, 2015 and 2017 Best of Super Juniors, and a 2016 Super J Cup winner.
Zack Sabre Jr., born in Sheppey, United Kingdom, 187 pounds. He's 6 foot. He's 31. He's been a pro for 14 years. He's a 2-time British Heavyweight Champion, a 2018 New Japan Cup winner, and one half of the Undisputed British Tag Team Champions. For one fall. Introduce him first. They're going to get quite a long time. We've got half hour left. The submission master, just tap out. It's Zack Sabre Jr. We've seen it, but at least we recognise everybody kind of involved, like, do you know what I mean? In a weird way, like Lord Gideon and Shah Samuels, of course, Jushin Thunder Liger at the start, Colt Cabana, now Zack Sabre Jr. It's weird, that, isn't it? So my picks in the Cruiserweight Classic Tournament, you had Noam Dar, who we've seen on this episode, going against Pete Dunne for the NXT United Kingdom Championship. We've had my pick, Zack Sabre Jr. in this match against Kushida now. And, of course, who forget my third pick?
Ho Ho Lun.
I have not. Was it Ho Ho Lun? So where are your 3 picks then, mate?
WWE. Who was my third?
I don't know. So you had Grand Metalik. You had TJP. Well, let's not forget, Zack Sabre Jr. has pinned Okada. And if you don't know Okada, then you really should be involved. I've recently bought Fire Pro Wrestling on the PS4, and I'll play that and let everybody know how it goes. And, of course, with Kenny Omega and people that are on there, it should be great. Of course, Zack Sabre Jr. as well. This should be a great effort, a great match for each man.
Kota Ibushi.
Yeah. He's Kota Ibushi now, mate.
He's lush.
Yeah, exactly. Don't know where he is, but my pick, Zack Sabre Jr., is right here in action. He's already gone to Kushida from behind. Brilliant by Zack. He's got the hand now works off the wrist lock, and this guy is just such a great guy to watch in the ring as Kushida goes down. We're going to see proper Japanese style into British wrestling here. There's no doubt about it. Both of these men can definitely go. Kushida now on the rope. Zack Sabre Jr. pushing him there. A slap in the face and kind of a little bit of disrespect. Kushida has been very, we talk about his achievements.
5-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion.
Let's not forget about it, it's more than what Zack Sabre Jr. has. Now, Conor Albertine have been very respectful early on.
Yeah, but has Kushida ever got to the semi-finals of the Cruiserweight Classic?
Exactly. Has he ever been one of my picks? No. So, until he is, and that's why I got to pick Zack in this match.
Didn't we see Zack Sabre Jr. at Rev Pro as well?
Mm-hmm.
Well, pun intended, Zack Sabre Jr. needs to get revved up.
Beautiful transition there by Kushida to stay on top. That shows just how great a wrestler he actually is.
Oh, and he's spinning around on the back of Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, Kushida has been all over on this match. He's had Zack Sabre Jr.'s number.
Well, he's showing he's out wrestling him, and now Zack might turn up the pace a little bit here. Might turn up the heat a little bit here. Dodges that. Hip toss. Kushida rolls through.
And a lovely seated drop kick there to Sabre Jr. as he was prone on the floor.
He's on the apron now. Kushida going to build up a head of steam. Oh my God! Went for the handspring, but Zack caught him.
Oh, and he hangs him up, knee over the top rope. That looks painful.
That's a go. Well, that could dislocate a knee. That could hyperextend it, Dan. We know how bad that could be.
Yeah, but James, we've seen Lord Gideon Grey.
We have seen Gideon Grey.
Lord,
sorry. We have seen Lord tonight. And now we get to see Zack Sabre Jr. as well. It's been on a draw, but I've liked the night, Dan. What about you?
Chris Roberts is here. Sorry, I've kind of enjoyed it. I think the first match was kind of an exhibition to the crowd. The second match, it was basically just a squash match. It was exciting seeing Lord Gideon Grey and knowing he's still about in the RPW circuit, which is brilliant. But this match, it seems to have kind of turned up the feel. It seems like something that we would see on NXT.
Yeah, I agree. I think, it definitely belongs here. I don't know what Chris Ridgway's doing now. He's come up and sitting on the stage now. We can see him drinking water.
Ridgway on the entranceway.
He is. I don't know why. No way.
Jose.
And now look at Zack, just way he can turn that leg.
Would you rather see Zack Sabre Jr. flourishing in the Rev Pro than on 205 Live? Rather see him. Could he be the man to dethrone your man, Buddy Murphy?
Of course he could, if he wanted to. I don't think WWE offered him and he turned it down. I think he makes enough money in Japan and in the UK to kind of be happy about that. He's still a great wrestler. He can live by his own rules, and we've seen it with Cody Rhodes now that you can make a living outside of the WWE machine, and if that's what he wants to do. If he's getting featured in the main event here, would he be featured on the main event of NXT UK? Probably yes, but would he be champion? That's a question you have to answer down the road.
Probably yes.
And in cruiserweights as well, the 205 Live, would he be champion? Probably yes, but again, he had to beat Buddy Murphy, and it would be a hell of a match if it ever happened.
But Zack Sabre Jr. certainly isn't lacking the talent to be able to hold the cruiserweight division. But again, what do you reckon's getting more exposure, this or 205 Live?
Kushida there, beautiful on the apron, springboard drop kick back in.
No, you've distracted me so much, I can't remember my original question.
I remember it, don't worry.
What was it?
I think that's a great call. It would be interesting to see the ratings.
Wasn't a call, it was a
No,
question.
I was saying ratings for this and 205 Live. I think maybe more people would watch 205 Live a little bit more just because of how well it's received on the network. And I think with this, we have to grow an audience. If you give them matches like this, then I think if people are going to tune in if they like wrestling. And if you're a bystander, you're not really sure, this is still great wrestling because Kushida comes off the top. Zack Sabre Jr. dodges it, just goes for a suplex. Kushida blocks it back in, turns around now. Hip toss, takedown. Got hold of the arm. And now looking for the Kimura, but Zack being clever, holding on to the arms to not break submission.
His bottom foot gets his foot to the bottom rope.
And Kushida has been impressive in this one, and now he's working on the hand of Zack Sabre Jr. Oh my God, and a kick by Zack right to Kushida. I'll tell you what, the replays are better than World of Sport. I think the action is as well. I know you haven't got Will Ospreay, but I still think with what we've seen, like I said, they've kind of turned it up a little. And I don't mind the setting after a while. It kind of gets a little bit friendly, if you know what I mean, in a weird way. I like it being a little bit different as well.
Oh, yeah.
Kushida with a boot up and now just stomping away at Zack Sabre Jr.
Rolls through, plants Zack Sabre Jr. with a DDT. Sold it like Buddy Murphy does.
Fucking hell. Might have broke the neck. Kushida going up.
Moonsault time. Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. got his feet up into the...
And that is brilliant by Zack. He's still feeling the back of his neck, but he's saying, ask him, ref.
Oh, but Kushida rolls through. Kick to the elbow.
Rolling up for the big punch, but Zack blocked it with a kick. And now 3 without response. And now Zack...
guillotine locked in deep.
Jumped on him. Kushida blocks it though. Dragon suplex.
With a bridge.
Wow.
Only getting a 2 count.
2.
Wow.
Good stuff though. Well, he patronised Rev Pro. Of course it's good wrestling, but...
It has, but it seems...
Well, Kushida up. Moonsault.
Hits it.
1, 2.
Oh. It seems like it's over-dramatised, if you know what I mean. Like, you know, they're showing what they can do, but they're kind of over-emphasising what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're trying to stand out.
But this definitely has been, you know, up there with the matches of the night that we've seen on NXT UK, especially.
Yeah. Well, yeah, these two guys definitely could be in, you know, WWE, and you're showing their talent here. And this is the kind of talent we've got around the UK now as well. You know, like I said, 98 different promotions, 99 different places, and it works the arm. I like it's been a nice long match as well.
Well, and Chris Ridgway, I do like that as well, you know, him looking on intently at the action going on. You know, he's certainly made his presence not felt, but, you know, we know he's there.
Exactly, and we know this has got something to do with Zack Sabre Jr., you know, and that storyline is going to continue at some point. We're also getting a match here between the two that's been fantastic. Zack had it locked up, but every time it looks like he does, Kushida just gets out of it.
Looking for the handspring back elbow, but Zack Sabre Jr. turns it into the cross arm breaker, but Kushida again rolling through out of a submission.
And now he's trying to get his own arm breaker in. Trying to break the lock of Zack's hand, and if he gets it...
No, Zack rolls through.
Grabs hold of the leg.
Has he got the heel hook locked in?
Oh my God. Kushida has got him in a triangle himself. Now hooks the leg again, getting out of it.
Roll through from Kushida. 1, 2.
Oh.
A kick out from Junior.
And Zack's up with the uppercut. Shot taken away, and now Kushida rolls through.
Zack's got his hands clasped, so Kushida can't get the hoverboard lock in.
Well, not only is it great wrestling, it's great defensive wrestling as well. He's showing that when you actually put on a move, it means something. You can see how well these two men have connected. Slap by Zack.
Oh, Pele kick attempt there from Kushida. But Zack Sabre Jr. turns it into like a knee bar.
Oh my God, and he's got it in now, locking up the other leg. And Kushida desperately gets to that bottom rope, and Zack just pulling the leg. Hand hurts a little bit though. Oh, and Kushida rolls through into the bottom rope. And the crowd, you can tell, they're getting into this match.
Oh, Zack Sabre Jr. there, he's got a lot of bother with his hand. He's having to take off his wrist tape.
And a kick again by Zack. Uppercut by Zack.
Zack Sabre Jr. just standing there letting Kushida hit him.
It's a battle with wills.
Will Ospreay's not in this match.
Anything you can do, I can do better. And now Kushida gets caught with an uppercut by Zack. And a slap. And this is an all-out brawl between the two men. Now Kushida with the kicks. Zack catches one but gets slapped.
Oh, but delivers a leg sweep.
You think about punishment each man is taking.
I think Zack Sabre Jr. might have a bit of numbness in the hand.
Goes in
for the kick across the chest, but Kushida catches it.
Oh, now slapping Kushida.
3 big slaps around the face.
Oh!
Kushida with a big right hand, knocking Zack out. Hurts his own hand, though. Well, he's got it taped up.
Oh, replay there. Knockout. Well, named after his favourite pitcher, and Kushida has got a swing for the fences now.
Baseball.
Kushida, a drop kick to the arm.
Oh, the seriously injured arm from Zack Sabre Jr.
And now he's set up on the top is Zed Jay, he's in trouble. Kushida trying to suplex him, but he's fighting back now. He's our Zacky boy.
No, Zack was trying to suplex Kushida, but...
Oh my God, Kushida now's got the arm. Oh no. He's got the arm.
Spanish fly.
Oh my God.
A cross body, like, spinning round in midair. And he's got the Kimura locked in. Zack's trying to fight out of it.
And every time Kushida stomps down, it keeps Zack in that position. Oh my God, again get turned round. But Zack rolls him up. One, two. Oh no.
Roll through.
Kushida back through. Bridges. Two. No, Zack up again. And now he's got him back down. Oh my God. Got the leg lock. Well, he's already tearing with Napalm Death now. Hooking the egg round his neck.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Look how much it's bending.
And he has to tap out Zack Sabre Jr. with the victory there.
Fair fucking play.
That is an absolute brilliant fucking submission from Zack Sabre Jr.
Wow. Well, what a fantastic match, Dan. What do you reckon about it?
I was very impressed. That is probably one of the best matches I've seen, on this UK series.
Yeah, and if you've got Sky, you can go and watch it on Free Sports, World of Pro Wrestling. What an absolute match. Well, great match. And like I said, it would be out of place at an NXT takeover, you know what I mean? Let alone, like I say, at a Rev Pro event. Do you know one other thing that I really liked about it that people might not have noticed?
What?
There was no ad break during it.
No.
This is like a 20-minute, half-hour match, and yet the advert wasn't on there, so it didn't ruin it. You know, like on SmackDown and Raw, they have it halfway through and it takes it away a little bit. The momentum here for Rev Pro, and I think they played it well. I'm really impressed with the production values. I mean, obviously, there's a couple of things they can change. I think the show was really good as we get a face-off between Zack Sabre Jr.
and Ridgeway.
And, of course, Ridgeway. But, Dan, what are your final thoughts of Rev Pro?
I wasn't overly joyed with the first couple of matches. I thought they felt like a comedy-type match. I know that, there was some serious wrestling in it. They went to the outside. There was a few barricade shots in there. But I don't know, it seemed like over-accentuating things. The second match, again, it was just a squash match. But this one, it was... I was very, very impressed with it, the main event. I
know, it was great, wasn't it, really? And I'm really, really impressed. And that is definitely something that I will be... definitely watch it, and I think anybody really should anyway, because I think it just showed what it can do, it's surprising how kind of good it was. So anyway, we'll just do a brief rundown. I mean, this won't be a regular thing on the WWE Network, but just to keep everybody up to date with it. The next episode was the 26th of October at 9 p.m. again, and the start of the search for number one contenders to the Rev Pro British Tag Team Championship begins, plus Globetrotter Colt Cabana is in singles action. We watched the match, Dan, because obviously, we still know Colt Cabana. He went against Burridge, Dan, with his micey balls. What did you think of the match?
Again, it wasn't a terrible match. Now knowing now that Colt Cabana is a bit of a dick, we're not that him. We was kind of looking down on him. He still put in a fairly half decent match.
Yeah, too bad was it? Colt Cabana is what Colt Cabana is, and some people might recognise him. If you're a wrestling fan, you probably know who he is anyway due to the CM Punk connection. So it's good to have someone like that. And Rev Pro, he's been a part of Rev Pro for years anyway,
Again, he's another person that we've seen live,
yes.
And seeing him live, he was a bit of a dick, unlike other wrestlers, just off the top of my head, Drew McIntyre,
I know.
Ricochet.
Alright, so we move on to the next episode, which was Friday the 2nd of November, again at 9 p.m.
And David Starr puts his undisputed British Cruiserweight Championship on the line against former champion Curtis Chapman.
Yeah, so, I mean... What a great episode that was. And then the 9th of November 2018, the Arrows of Hungary collide with UK's own Lee and Jim, the Hunter brothers, plus an international main event sees America's Jonathan Gresham take on Canada's Al Fantasmo. And then it changes for some reason, wrestling, World of Pro Wrestling now. So that's what it's titled as if you're going to Sky Plus it as it was. The next episode was the 16th of November. Of course, again, that's at 11 p.m. now. It's gone back 2 hours.
Yeah, so there was action from the Cruiserweight Championship fight, plus Jushin Thunder Liger teams with El Fantasmo to take on the CCK pairing of Chris Book and Jonathan Gresham.
And much like WWE, of course, they filmed quite a few when it came to this place. And the last one that's been on recently, 23rd of November. So it's not, but we've got a series link for it. It's Friday the 23rd of November 2018. Josh Bodum, who we've seen live, he was fighting El Ligero, interestingly enough, who we spoke about in the UK show. Charles Samuels and Dan McGee go to battle in a personal grudge match, while in the main event, the submission master, Zack Sabre Jr., goes one-on-one with a fired-up Rocky Romero. So, Dan, final thoughts about Rev Pro?
It's a very entertaining bout, especially with the likes of Zack Sabre Jr., some great characters that we've seen, like Lord Gideon Grey, who was, he was definitely a heel with his, the Dominator. He seems like they're trying to build him up. But again, there's a few good names that have come through it. And it is certainly an entertaining brand as well, for people unfamiliar with wrestling. It's good to get into, good to get your feel with wrestling. But anyone else, I'd recommend to get the WWE Network and watch that.
Well, Dan, I don't want to put anything in your mouth, but I feel today I've enjoyed it, and I don't know if it's gone quick or whatever it is, but I've enjoyed it because it's been different. Do you know what I mean? Today, I think it's been a different podcast than what we normally do, and I think it's good sometimes to watch different things, even if you're a fan of wrestling, to try different things, because it is quite enjoyable. I've enjoyed stuff I've watched today as much as I would say even a normal NXT or indeed WWE program. And if anybody watched Raw and fucking SmackDown this past week, SmackDown was good, don't get me wrong. Oscar is going to be at TLC, but anyway, Raw wasn't great, was it? So this tonight has been really, really enjoyable. We're going to finish it off now with the last 4 NXT UKs, but we're not finished yet here today.
No, still got 4 more episodes of NXT UK.
So it is episode 9. It's November 21st, 2018. This was recorded August 25th, 2018 from Birmingham. Commentators are Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness. And the first match of the night is the NXT UK Women's Title Tournament quarter-final match. As we see here, it is going to be Zia Brookside versus Rhea Ripley. And of course, last week Dakota Kai beat Nina Samuels. And the winner of this match right here will face Dakota Kai in the semis. And what about the other side, Dan?
Ginny beat Millie McKenzie in the match that we saw, and we've also got Toni Storm versus Isla Dawn.
Yeah, and Isla Dawn was my pick in the Mae Young Classic, going against your pick in the Mae Young Classic, so it'll be interesting to see.
So we get another bonus point.
No, we don't. No bonus. My ass has been kicked enough. But someone who I wasn't... your pick in the Mae Young Classic, Zia Brookside, Dan. I forgot about that.
It is indeed, yes.
So, yeah, another one.
Brookside, the great legend.
So, do we get a bonus point if Rhea Ripley beats Zia Brookside, then?
Was Rhea Ripley your pick?
Yeah, well, she is now, because I was going for it in this match to beat Zia Brookside. Rhea Ripley has been very, very impressive as of late, and she easily slams down Zia Brookside. Well, Brookside might be outmatched, but Dan, who do you think is going to win this one?
Well, due to the impressive showing that I've seen, I'm going to go for Rhea Ripley.
Oh, you would, wouldn't you? You're not going to back your pick. That's disgusting when you don't pack the person that you picked in the May.
Okay, I'm going to go for Zia fucking Brookside,
James. There you go. I'll go Rhea Ripley because she's going to be dominant. Look at how easy down Zia Brookside at this moment. And it's weird going back to NXT UK now after we've seen Rev Pro. It seems a little bit wider, doesn't it? A little bit more polished. Of course, Birmingham Marina seems a little bit more bigger, a bit bigger, more impressive, doesn't it,
Yes, indeed it does.
And now Zia Brookside trying to Irish whip Rhea Ripley. It didn't work. Rhea Ripley Irish whip Zia Brookside.
But Brookside and Rhea Ripley comes charging in. Brookside with the foot up.
Oh my God! And now got the Hurricane Runner as Brookside, but Ripley catches her.
Oh, slams her into the turnbuckles.
Pulls her back in. Goes for the cover. 1, 2, no.
Oh, a kick out from Brookside.
Ah. Very impressive there by Rhea Ripley.
I like Zia Brookside's hair.
It's quite cool, isn't it? I quite like the difference between the characters as well. We know which one's face, we know which one's heel. Ripley's kind of got that kind of aggressive attitude. Obviously, kind of David Goliath thing going on as well. And Brookside, I think, we'll see a little bit more of her. I think very impressive. You've got to remember how young she is as well. And Rhea Ripley now picking up Zia Brookside.
Oh, a delayed standing suplex there.
She must have had her out for about 10 seconds.
At least 20 seconds.
Puts her down, goes for the cover, but no, Brookside gets up at 2.
2.
And now Brookside getting kicked in the side. And now Brookside in a bit of trouble. Drop kick to the back of the head by Ripley. Goes for the cover, but Brookside managing to kick out.
And a 50-50 crowd here. Half going for Ripley, half going for Brookside.
Is it Zaya or Zia? I've been calling her Zia. Zia doesn't really make sense. More American. God's sake, her dad's Robbie Brookside. And now look at Ripley tearing her up like a pretzel. Brookside struggling to get her, but Ripley's just too strong.
It's like a Texas cloverleaf in a vertical position.
Looks like they're trying it. Well, Ripley's only 22 as well.
Oh, and a thunderous jawbreaker. Zia Brookside trying to get some momentum back in this match. Delivers a thunderous bulldog. Come on, Zia.
And now Brookside comes running in. Ripley's clothesline.
Oh, and a lovely head scissors takedown there.
Oh my God, now Brookside getting ready. Can they come from behind?
Oh, double knees to the back of the head. This ring looks bigger as well.
I know, it's a much bigger ring. It's like twice the size of it. And now Brookside to the top.
Flying crossbody but gets caught by Ripley.
Uh-oh. And now Ripley's got her. Pam. Sits out.
One,
Job done.
2, 3.
Yeah, she ain't kicking out of that.
No,
Very,
she isn't.
very impressive by Rhea Ripley. Dan, what are your thoughts on that match?
Very impressive. Rhea Ripley there continuing her wonderful form that she had during the Mae Young Classic. Very impressive both women as well. I think Zia Brookside is still a great competitor even though she was on the losing side of this match.
No, I completely agree with you. Brookside is fun to watch though, isn't she? And I'm looking forward to seeing her grow in the ring.
Well, backstage, Razzie welcomes James Drake and Zack Gibson. Gibson says that he and Drake are the best team in NXT UK and are looking to take the upcoming NXT UK tag titles.
Match 2 is Jack Stars versus Eddie Dennis.
Well, this was basically a squash. I thought Stars lasted longer than I expected. I can't say that I'm a fan of Dennis right now. He does a lot of walking around, hitting one move, then walking around some more. He seems more concerned with a twist in his face and a grimace than putting on a great performance, and he's constantly positioning so he can look into the main camera like all the time.
We get a video last week. Tyson T-Bone and Dave Mastiff had to be separated by Johnny Saint backstage.
And match 3 is Mark Andrews versus the Wild Boy Hitchman.
Well, it was a good match. Hitchman had a surprising amount of offense. He's short and wide, and a lot of his moves look strong and tough to defend against. Andrews absorbed a lot of punishment, but it seems to always be just a few quick moves away from a victory. That was the case here, and it was entertaining to watch.
Well, you say he's short and wide, but James, compared to Rhino, is he wide?
Yeah, he ain't fucking. Compared to Rhino, he's positively svelte. Alright, so, there ain't nothing there. Don't worry about that, buddy.
Exactly. Well, Radzi welcomes Eddie Dennis. Dennis looks down on Radzi as he talks, but Ashton Smith walks up and interrupts. Smith says Dennis is good, but he's nothing Smith can't handle. Dennis takes offence and yells at Smith.
Where did you take that offence from? And match 4 is NXT UK Women's Title Quarter Final match. Isla Dawn versus Toni Storm.
So it is me and you again going head to head, James. Our Mae Young Classic picks.
Yes, indeed. Fighting it here. Look at Isla Dawn putting a whooping on Toni. Like, I will be putting a whooping on you, son. So here we go. And I love Isla Dawn. Of course, the Scottish vixen. Going to make a big impact here in the UK. And she deserves it. And Dan, like your point earlier, Toni Storm ain't even British, mate. Why is she here?
Neither's Rhea Ripley.
Why is she here for?
Well, James, she's here because the British women can't stand up for British women's wrestling.
How dare you? And I think Isla Dawn is going to prove that. Toni Storm was lucky winning the Mae Young Classic final in it. She robbed Io Shiara in that match. Don't get me started. She will not be robbing Isla Dawn here tonight. How aggressive Dawn starting the early going. Storm can't handle her.
But what did Toni Storm actually get for winning the Mae Young Classic?
She got moved to NXT UK. What's wrong with that?
And she got put in a tournament where she should be into the final.
Oh, come off it. No one should automatically be in any final, Dan.
Well, she should for winning the Mae Young Classic, which Isla Dawn didn't do, but she stands on a level playing field as Toni Storm, even though the playing field isn't level because she's going against Toni Storm.
Look, Toni Storm got a trophy, and that was really nice. We saw the presentation. And flowers.
Isla Dawn got fuck all.
Yeah, Isla Dawn did get fuck all.
Well, she got to meet Toni Storm.
She's got to lose to a lot of people, damn it. You know? Yeah, I like Isla Dawn. She's got a lot of potential. As Tony Storm now just chopping away.
Well, this morning, James, I woke up at the crack of dawn.
Did you?
I said, Dawn, get off my face.
Well, last night, Tony Storm was blowing in my garden. And now Tony fighting back with the forearms.
Do you reckon a great tag team pairing would be Tony Storm and the Hurricane?
I think it would be. I think it would be great. And
Along
Stormzy, the entrance
with
music.
Earthquake and Typhoon.
Stormzy, the entrance music would be great as well. And they can go to Chicago, can't they?
The Windy City.
The Windy City. But you're only making jokes because you're not focusing on Isla Dawn with a submission on Tony Storm right now.
Tony Storm is just weathering the storm.
She's weathering the storm. She's getting beaten down. Isla in complete control here. It's so great to see.
And there is, of course, a bonus point on the line here for the winner of this match.
Not.
What, are you not that confident in your British woman to win the match in the British NXT UK?
No. And Storm struggling to get to that bottom rope. Dawn has had the submission in now for a good couple of minutes.
No, Dawn has.
Storm can't get anywhere. Now she finally gets to the bottom rope. Lucky. The cowardly way getting out. And Dawn now shouting at Storm saying, it's my time. It's my fucking championship, you fucking...
You dirty fucking bitch!
She's not from Mumbai.
You dirty bitch.
That's mine now, hen. And she gets stopped by Storm with a kick. Dawn took too long. Big hip attack, but look at that kick by Dawn. And again.
3 kicks, but Storm catches the third one. Grabs her from behind. Plants her with a German release.
Yeah. And now she might be looking.
For Storm 0. Bang. 1, 2, 3. Good night, Isla Dawn. It was fun while you lasted for all of 3 minutes, but you're a cunt. Fuck off. Next, please. Well, James, on to match 5, and that is Ligero versus Jordan Devlin. Very good match.
It was a very good match. These two match up quite well together. Both are quick and agile and are both able to pull off some strong moves and throws. The match got really good towards the end. It caught me off guard with a few of the near falls close to the actual finish.
Well, overall, it was a good show. I hope the next few women's tournament matches will be just slightly longer and more involved. But these were fine to close out the quarterfinals. Also, the main event surprised how much I enjoyed it. I'd like to see more of both Devlin and Ligero.
Yeah, and they are two great talents. So we move on to episode 10, and original November 21st, 2018. It was recorded August 26th, 2018 in, of course, Birmingham. And Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness are your commentators.
So on to match 1, and it is the semi-final for the NXT UK Women's title, and it is Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Well, James, this match is very unique because it is a rematch from their second round of the Mae Young Classic.
Fucking hell, I did not know that. That is good to know. And I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, I've still got to back Rhea Ripley, to be fair. She was so dominant against your pick Brookside in the last match. I don't think she's going to get the job. But I think she will get the job done. I think Dakota Kai is just a bit too small. Dan, what are your thoughts?
Well, James, you say she's a bit too small, but didn't she take out 2 of the 4 horsewomen of UFC?
She did indeed. We did see her at TakeOver. That's an excellent point. Dakota Kai is getting more and more relevant. I mean, you said she looked a bit like a Bayley cast-off when she first joined, but now hopefully she's growing a bit of her own character as we have got the semi-finals of the UK. I've been so many tournaments and he said Mae Young Classic then. Of the NXT UK
Cruiserweight Classic.
The NXT UK Women's Championship semi-final match. And Ripley wants to test her strength first.
Dakota Kai a bit hesitant. Rhea Ripley's like, well, sod you then.
I ain't fucking doing that if you're going to fuck around. And I don't know if Kai's got a chance here. She gets Rhea Ripley. Crowd definitely behind her.
And Rhea Ripley is bending Dakota Kai backwards. Goes for the cover. But Kai managing to get the shoulder up.
Again goes for it, but now Kai bridges. Oh, big knee to the stomach. Kai rolls through low.
And reverses the pressure onto Ripley.
Oh, that's nice.
Who slams Kai into the corner, places her on the top turnbuckle and just pats her on the head very like.
And slaps her again, and Kai might be getting a little bit frustrated. Oh, the Kiwi with the kicks.
So neither of these two women are, in fact, British?
No, neither is Tony Storm. The only one flying the flag at the moment is Ginny. She'll be fighting for Toni Storm later. Both women now trying to go for the pins, but both release. Both women pushing each other. Oh, Ripley went for a drop kick. Kai using her speed now.
Well, I'm a grower, not a shower.
Nice drop kick. Rhea Ripley rolls behind though. She's got Kai in a waistlock. And Kai managing to buck her off. Oh!
Double foot stomp.
Only getting a 1 though.
1.
Finn Balor's overrated. And the coup de grace is a shit move. Oh my god, Dakota Kai kicked Rhea Ripley right in the face.
Right in the chest for the second time.
Oh my god. Well, the chest stand. Come on now.
Well, when I look at women, I look at their chest, not their face.
Well, yeah.
Oh, no, scratch that.
No. Kai going for the cover. Ripley, though, gets showed up again at 1.
1.
And now picking up Kai in the corner. Bringing her out halfway across the ring. Goes for the cover with that. That's not going to get the job done, but it's going to tire out Rhea Ripley. This is all about the NXT UK Women's Division right now here on the WNR UK special. Beautiful dropkick by Ripley, goes for the cover, but Dakota Kai managing to kick out.
Ooh.
Rhea Ripley taking down Kai.
Just pummeling away at the back of their head.
Oh my word. And Rhea Ripley's been in complete control. Picking up the suplex. I mean, she must have her for at least 15 seconds.
At least 25 seconds.
But Kai rose under, goes for the pin, but Ripley managing to kick out.
And responds immediately with a drop kick. Goes for another cover up. 1, 2.
Oh,
only a 2 count.
2. And Rhea Ripley now has been dominant, but Kai trying to kick out of this.
Indeed, and Kai's managed to get some separation, but I think that's just pissed Rhea Ripley off, and the look on her face
oh my god,
says it definitely has.
Oh, nice kick by Kylo.
Well, Ripley looking up on a kind of scorpion kick there from Dakota Kai.
And now both women trading, and Kai has the advantage. Oh, and another beautiful kick there by Kai.
Double drop kick sending Rhea Ripley into the turnbuckles. Perched up. Oh, bang! Running boot to the face. Can Dakota Kai pull out an upset victory here?
Well, that is a question. What is the answer? Ripley in trouble. Here comes Kai again.
A hell of a kick.
Oh my god, Kai's out.
Ripley's out too.
Oh my god, Rhea Ripley was in big trouble then. Managed to get the shoulder off at 2.
2, and then now again rolling to the outside for a bit of separation.
And for someone who's only 22 years old, that is showing a lot of experience. She can't get pinned on the outside, and Kai's on the apron. Might try one of those kicks again. And Rhea Ripley realised this time, caught it!
Face first onto the edge of the ring. Ripley throws her back into the ring.
Going in for the cover. 1, 2.
Oh,
no!
A kick out from Kai.
I'm really impressed by Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai. I think they're the next in line now. Do you know what I mean? We see it. Like, these are the people that are going to be on Raw and SmackDown in a couple of years' time. Yeah, well done. They're patronising at all, but, you know, this is what NXT UK is about. Give them a chance to shine.
Well, these two are 2 of the 3 potential wrestlers that could be the first ever NXT UK Women's Champ.
What do you mean first 3? There's still Toni Storm and... Oh no, Toni Storm wasn't, did she? It's his last semi-final.
No, there's Toni Storm's semi-final, but Toni Storm's going to win it, isn't she?
Oh my god, forearm by Ripley. She's got Kai up now. Trying to go for that sit-out. Kai realises, rolls her up, but no. Again.
2 count.
2.
And a kick to the head from Kai.
Then I've got the arm and just kicking away. This is vicious by Kai.
This is the second one.
Oh.
Goes out for the pump handle slam.
Slammed her down. 1, 2, 3. Very, very impressive there by Rhea Ripley, showing that she's got what it takes to take to that next level. And Dakota Kai, again, there could be no bigger kind of thing to say than like they belong. They wouldn't be out of place on Raw or SmackDown. You know, this is as good. They're not rip-offs to anybody. Who's got their own characters. It was really, really good. You know, is there anything else to add to that, Dan? Do you reckon?
No, you know, Dakota Kai and her kicks, certainly, you know, it proves that size isn't everything.
Yeah, I mean, either woman could have believed won this match, and it was close right up to the end. I like I said, I really enjoyed this.
Well, we go backstage, and Sid Scala tells Radzi that Johnny Saint has given him an opportunity to face Joe Coffey in 2 weeks. Radzi wonders if that's a good idea, but Scala seems cautiously confident.
Ooh. Well, Radzi is joined by Jordan Devlin. Devlin tells Radzi that by defeating Ligero, he has cemented himself as the number one contender for the WUK title. Devlin says that when he becomes champ, he's going to rename NXT UK NXT Ireland, featuring the UK.
And we go to match 2, which is Webster Morgan Flash going against Morgan Webster Flash and Mark Andrews versus Saxon Huxley and Joseph Connors.
Well, this was a good match. Webster and Andrews are fast and fun to watch. I think there might have been an uphill battle in the tag division, but a lot of underdog-style matches. But that's part of the fun with them. Huxley and Connors might be a pretty good team, but Huxley refuses to tag Connors late in the match. It seems like their time as a duo is limited.
Yes, and as you say, that after the match, Connors attacks Huxley. After some punches, Connor hits Huxley with Don't Look Down.
Match 3 was Dave Mastiff versus Tyson T-Bone.
And we saw these two guys kind of squaring off after they both had squash matches, or one of them had a squash match, and the other one was going down to the ring for him. It was a good match. It was all about Tyson T-Bone trying to beat Dave Mastiff down, but Mastiff absorbing the punishment and dishing out some punishment of his own when he could. It was fun, kind of short, but fun.
Yeah. And match 4 is the NXT Women's Title Tournament semi-final match. We already know Rhea Ripley is in the final. Who will join her? Will it be Ginny or will it be Dan's pick for the Mae Young Classic? And one of the, I think, strong favourites in this one, Toni Storm. And Ginny and Toni Storm have a long rivalry as well.
Toni Storm.
Well, I know we like Toni Storm, but I've got to say I've been impressed with Ginny.
Is that you, Ginny?
No, not that Ginny. I've been impressed with Ginny Lowe. But my only problem with her, and I don't know if you agree, I think she's too skinny. Is that an out of order thing to say now? In the hashtag
You're
Me
body
Too
shaming,
movement?
James.
I'm not body shaming, but I just feel,
Would you rather her be fat?
I wouldn't rather her be fat. I'm not saying she is fat. I'm just saying, look at the elbow. Very, very small.
Alexa Bliss? She is tiny and petite.
Alexa Bliss is 5 foot. Ginny is the same height as Toni Storm, but Toni Storm looks twice the size. Let's be fair about this.
You're saying Toni Storm's fat now?
I'm not saying Toni Storm.
Stop fat shaming people.
Do not get me involved in it. I am not saying that. I'm not saying that. I feel it's a little bit maybe inappropriate for someone to look like that, because not everybody has to look like that. We've all got different body types, and all of that should be... You look at NXT UK division, people like Dave Mastiff and Trent Seven, and people like Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley, they're all different body shapes. I just feel that she's too skinny. I'm going to stop talking about this now, because the match has started.
She's got very skinny legs.
And the elbow, look at the elbow. Looks like... I think Jenny's more technical than Toni Storm. I'm going to say this now. She's been working the arm of Storm in the early going, and I think she's going to have the advantage. Well, Storm takes down Jenny.
And Toni Storm has the advantage.
Yep. And now Jenny trying to roll up Storm. Nearly had it then. Get the 2. Storm was shot by that.
Well, we know that Toni Storm's got what it takes to win a tournament, but is this prize bigger than the trophy and bunch of flowers that you receive for winning the Mae Young Classic?
I've got to say it is. Storm has been so impressive. I mean, at least she could have been like a call up to the main roster or like a number 1 contendership match. But Kairi Sane didn't get anything last year for winning the Mae Young Classic either, did she? So it's not like you can argue about that with Toni Storm. And Kairi Sane did end up on the NXT roster, but, it was after a little while. So maybe they've got other plans for Toni Storm, but they should maybe next year, if they do it again, have a definite, like a proper point of winning. Because there's too many tournaments and there's too many stuff like that going on at the moment where the winner, it means nothing.
What did the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic final get?
I don't think they had it this year, did they?
Last year. The year before.
They had number 1 contendership match at TakeOver. I think it was a draw, so it was like a 3-way match. And Storm there with a big kick to Ginny takes her down. And now Storm back on the offensive. I mean, like the World Cup, Greatest Royal Rumble. And Storm is working over Ginny. Well, this is a lot more submission-based and wrestling than maybe I would expect it. I say wrestling in the point on the ground and entwined with each other, as opposed to the strikes and stuff that we might see normally.
Well, I think this is Toni Storm just showing more of her repertoire that she can do in the ring.
Yeah, I think Storm's shown that she could basically do everything there is now. Talk about dealing with the high flyers, going against a more powerful opponent, and now, of course, the more technically wise, as in Ginny. And she's getting taught a lesson by Toni Storm without a doubt.
Storm running into the boot of Ginny, though. Ginny trying to get some offense as she throws Toni Storm legs first into the bottom turnbuckle, goes for a cover. Only a 1 count.
1. I think referee's a bit slow to. Ginny is in the ascendancy, stomping Storm in the corner.
But isn't this a classic Storm match? I mean, she gets a bit of offense, spends a lot of the match getting beaten down, comes back and wins, with against, comes back and wins after getting beaten down by a opponent.
I think with Storm, that's kind of the one we saw it the most, haven't we? It's not kind of back and forth match. It is more the fact of Storm getting worked on. That kind of gives away the result. Maybe a little bit. I think I would love to see Storm in a back and forth match, but I don't know. Maybe her knee's just gone there. Look, that Irish whip by Jenny and Storm went down. And that leg might be serious trouble. And Jenny now going to try a suplex.
Rolls through for a cover. 1, 2. Oh, but a kick out from Storm.
And Toni Storm trying to fight this. Hitting Jenny.
Couple of slaps, spinning heel kick to the midsection. Ginny ducks a close on attempt though, but a headbutt from Storm knocks both women out.
And that was cool then.
4, 3,
2, 6, 8.
Come on, Jimbo.
Fuck us. Half hour left. Fuck us.
Do you want a protein shot?
Woo! Motherfucker. Jenny, I love you, Jenny. Come on now, James.
Now both women on their knees, slugging it out to try and get to the final of UK Women's Championship.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. And now, here we go. Which woman's going to win this duel? Looks like Storm's coming out on top at the moment. Multiple forearms, but Jenny with a kick gets caught by Storm.
A snap German suplex, and this has just fired Toni Storm up.
Well,
Ginny is perched in the corner, prone.
This could be the end. Now here comes Storm.
Oh, hip attack.
Go up for the fisherwoman suplex. Goes for no. Ginny somehow managing to kick out.
Oh yeah, but Storm going straight to the outside.
Well, we don't see Storm going up that often.
Well, she's going to do it now. She knows what it takes to get through to the final. But Ginny up, kick to the head.
And now Ginny's in control. No, just as I say that, headbutt by Storm.
No, as you say that, Ginny with a slap to the head. And now both second rope.
No, as you say that, forearm by Toni Storm. And now Ginny's down.
Oh, and Ginny kicking both the feet out of Storm. X Factor.
Oh my God, off the second rope.
Oh, but Toni managing to kick out.
Now that was impressive by Jenny. Ginny's beaten absolutely everybody with that move, Dan.
Oh, ripcord lariat though, but Toni Storm ducks it.
Oh my God, she went for Storm Zero, but Jenny
overhead kick there.
Goes for the cover, but Storm too close to that second bottom rope there. My God. The way she rolled. Ginny won the last match with that move. Storm's out at the moment. Here she comes running in, and Storm dodges it.
Jumps over the top. Another snap German suplex.
Oh, she got her in position.
Storm Zero sit out. 1, 2, 3.
Job
and it is
done.
Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley in the NXT UK Women's Championship final match.
Very good match. This was another good chapter in the rivalry between Ginny and Toni Storm. It was a great way to end the semi-finals of the tournament. This was a good back and forth match for a lot of strong moves by both women. Dan, what are your thoughts on this match?
You said it all perfectly there. You know, even Ginny, she held her own against Toni Storm. A hot prospect in this NXT UK Women's division. I'd like to see a few more matches from her. But we go to the ring area, and after the match, Johnny Saint congratulates the two women headed to the finals of the NXT UK Women's title tournament.
I mean, a very good show. The women's matches delivered like I hoped they would, and the other two matches in the show were fun as well. So move on to November 28th, episode 11, and we're still in Birmingham, England. The announcers are Nigel McGuinness and Vic Joseph.
Well, we go to match number 1, and that is Zia Brookside versus Millie McKenzie. Zia Brookside and Millie McKenzie versus Charlie Morgan and Killer Kelly.
Well, Morgan and Brookside start things off with a lock up. Brookside with a side headlock and a wrist lock. Zia with a top wrist lock to take Morgan to the mat. Morgan kips up, but Zia sends her back down.
Morgan with a reversal into a wrist lock and head scissors. Brookside with a drop kick and Millie tags in. Millie with a swinging suplex and Zia with a knee. Millie gets a near fall.
Well, Kelly tags in and Morgan with an elbow. Millie with a takedown into a front face lock on Kelly. Millie with an armbar. Millie with a forearm and closed over for a near fall. Millie with a waist lock, but Kelly blocks the suplex attempt. Kelly runs Millie into the turnbuckles, and Kelly with a waist lock, takedown and kicks. Kelly with elbows to the back, followed by a few good kicks. Kelly with a curb stomp using a hair for extra leverage. Kelly with a punch and waist lock.
Well, Mia with a jab. Zia and Morgan tag in, and Zia blocks a super kick and hits a jawbreaker. Zia with running bulldog and head scissors takedown. Zia with a running double knee strike to the back, and then she goes up top. Kelly grabs Zia by the ankles and Zia is sent into the ring post. Millie with a spear to Morgan when the referee's not looking, and Zia with a jackknife cover for the 3 count.
And your winners are Millie McKenzie and Zia Brookside.
And we see Pete Dunne in the back as he gets ready for his match against Jordan Devlin tonight.
Match number 2. Eddie Dennis versus Ashton Smith.
Well, they lock up and Dennis takes Smith to the mat and applies a wrist lock. Smith with an escape and a side headlock. Dennis goes for a belly to back suplex, but Smith lands on his feet. Dennis with a shoulder tackle, but Smith with a drop kick. Smith with a leg lariat and Smith with a leg lariat and Dennis goes to the floor. Smith with a suicide dive, but Dennis catches Smith and hits an uranagi onto the apron. Then Dennis sends Smith into the ring.
Well, Dennis with the boots to the chest. Dennis with a forearm and a hard Irish whip. Smith with punches, but Dennis with a judo throw into a near fall. Dennis with a cravat. Smith with punches, but Dennis with knees. Smith with a net breaker, and both men are down. Smith with punches, but Dennis with a knee to the midsection. Smith with clotheslines to Dennis, and he hits a springboard dropkick to knock Dennis to the floor, and Smith with a plancha.
Smith sends Dennis back into the ring, and Smith goes up top, then with a leg lariat for a near fall. Smith runs into a boot from Dennis, and Dennis goes to the turnbuckles. Smith with a drop kick, Dennis on the turnbuckles, and Smith climbs a turn. Smith sets for a superplex, but Dennis with the forearms and he slips under. Dennis with the 7th bridge and next stop driver for the 3 count.
And your winner is Eddie Dennis.
We take a look at what happened last week when Saxon Huxley refused to tag in Joseph Connors, and then the subsequent post-match breakup of the team.
Yeah, we go to commercial. Match number 3, Saxon Huxley versus Joseph Connors.
Huxley with forearms and punches as the bell rings. Huxley with uppercuts and Connors with punchless. Huxley Matt again with punches. Huxley with a European uppercut. Huxley with a punch to Connors and Connors with a knee. Connors with punches and forearms. Connors sends Huxley into the turnbuckles. Connors with an Irish whip and Huxley with a shoulder tackle. Huxley with a back body drop.
Connors with a short arm clothesline and punches to Huxley. Connors with punches and forearms as Huxley tries to block the punches to his face. Connors with a single arm Japanese stranglehold. Connors with a boot to the head. Connors puts Huxley on the top turnbuckle and hits him with forearms to the back. Connors sends Huxley into the turnbuckles and connects with elbows to the head. Connors runs into a boot, then hits a running knee and drop kick. Huxley with a running knee to the head, and then he goes for a powerbomb, but Connors lands on his feet. Connors with forearms to the back.
Huxley with a clothesline for a near fall. Huxley misses the running boot and gets caught on the ropes. Connors with a German suplex for a near fall. Connors with a sit-out spinebuster for a near fall. Connors slaps Huxley and then kicks him in the face. Connors with a package DDT for the 3 count.
Your winners, Joseph Connors.
Vic mentions the NXT UK Women's Championship match, and Nigel says, "Here's my gal, Toni Storm," and we have a video package.
Yes, you fucker. She says she's always felt pigeons. What? She says she always felt pressure. Children dream of this and want the glory. To be a history maker, there's going to be pressure. You're going to look at history at the NXT UK Women's title, and you'll see her at number 1, and you cannot take that for more. She's going to raise the bar. Her whole life has led to this point. It's not something she wants, it's something she needs. Rhea is one of the best pure wrestlers in the world. She is tough, powerful and strong, but can she handle the pressure and do what Toni Storm can do? Rhea will not be the first UK Women's Champion.
Toni says she has worked 9 years for this and she has sacrificed and given everything just for this match. This is the time and it is her time. This is Toni time.
What time is it?
Toni time.
Well, Jordan Devlin is in the back getting ready for his match against Pete Dunne.
We are back
with a look at Rhea Ripley.
Rhea says this is the new Rhea Ripley. She has come to the UK to absolutely rip this women's division apart. Zia Brookside ripped apart. Dakota Kai ripped apart. Toni Storm will be another victim who will be
Ripped apart.
Rhea says she has seen what Toni can do, but the last step for her is Rhea Ripley. Her name title. She will be the first ever UK Women's Champion. Toni Storm, this is where it all ends.
Match number 4 is Jordan Devlin versus Pete Dunne for the NXT UK Men's Championship.
Dunne wants Devlin to come to him as the bell rings. They lock up and Dunne with a wrist lock, Devlin with a head scissors and Dunne with an escape. Devlin slaps Dunne and Dunne slaps back. Dunne with a wrist lock and he puts the hand on the mat and tries to stomp on the elbow, but Devlin gets his arm free. Devlin with a wrist lock and he takes Dunne to the mat. Dunne with a monkey flip and Devlin gets to the apron. Devlin with a forearm to Dunne and Devlin punches to Dunne. Devlin with a side headlock, Dunne with a clothesline, Dunne with a hammerlock using the leg and he pulls the arm and pulls at the fingers. Dunne with a double hammerlock and a boot to the head, Dunne with a kick to the back and Devlin with an Irish whip. Devlin stops Dunne from flipping out of the corner, Devlin with a lunge blower for a near fall.
Devlin with a forearm slap and Dunne with punches. Devlin with a uranagi and a standing moonsault for a near fall. Devlin with forearm to Dunne and Dunne wants more, so Devlin obliges. Dunne with a forearm that says Devlin to the turnbuckles. Devlin with an Irish whip and Dunne flips over and hits a running boot. Devlin goes for a German suplex, but Dunne lands on his feet and kicks Devlin. Dunne with an X-plex into an armbar submission, but Devlin with a roll-up for a near fall.
Devlin with a kick to the head and he hits a running face wash. Devlin pulls Dunne up into the Sato suplex for a near fall. Devlin with forearms to the back. Devlin goes for a standing moonsault, but Dunne moves. Dunne stands on Devlin's left hands as he stomps on the hand a number of times. Dunne grabs the fingers, but Devlin with a forearm. Dunne with a forearm, but Devlin with a standing C4, but Dunne applies the Koji clutch. Devlin is able to roll to the ropes to break the hold.
They go to the floor and Dunne puts a hand on the ring steps, but Devlin pulls his hand away and Devlin sends Dunne into the ring steps. Devlin with a Spanish fly off the ring steps to the floor. Both men are down and the referee starts his count. Both men get back just in before the 10 count. Devlin go face to face on the mat and pick themselves up. Dunne stands on the hand and stomps on them and then he kicks Devlin. Devlin escapes the X-plex and hits a reverse runner for a near fall. Devlin with a forearm to the head, but Dunne with a forearm. When Devlin goes for a springboard move, Dunne hits bitter end, but he cannot take advantage. Devlin rolls to his chest to prevent the cover from being made. Dunne and Devlin go to the apron, and Devlin sends Dunne back first into the ring post.
Devlin puts Dunne in the turnbuckle, and Devlin sets for a Spanish fly from the turnbuckles and hits it, but Dunne kicks out.
Oh.
Devlin gets to his feet first and tells Dunne to get up. Devlin with a punch and Dunne goes down. Dunne pulls himself up and Devlin with a headbutt. Devlin pulls out Dunne's mouthpiece and hits a super kick for a near fall. Devlin goes up top, goes for a moonsault, but he's caught in a triangle. Dunne with the elbows to the head, and Devlin gets to the ropes. Dunne pulls Devlin back to the centre of the ring, pulls at the fingers, and Devlin taps out.
And your winner, Pete Dunne, and another fantastic match from Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne can do no wrong in my eyes. Just a great performer. He Jordan Devlin, for goodness sake, and he had a classic encounter with him. So, November 28th, episode 12. I can't believe we've watched 12 episodes already. Where does the time go?
Indeed, yes. But 8 women had the chance to be named the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. Toni Storm and Rhea Ripley will meet in the finals for that honour.
We are in Birmingham, England, and your announcers are Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness.
We see Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm getting ready for their match later tonight.
Joe Coffey sends Mark Coffey and Wolfgang to the back.
Sid Scala comes out and says that he's not medically cleared to face Joe Coffey tonight. He says Johnny Saint has given him the opportunity to introduce his replacement.
And that is Tyler Bate. Bate with punches as the bell rings. Kofi responds with punches to Bate. Bate with punches of his own. Kofi with a series of punches and a chop. Kofi with an Irish whip and Bate with a knee. Bate with a drop kick and a suicide dive onto Kofi. Kofi with punches. He tries to send Bate into the ring steps, but Tyler is able to stop himself and hit a back elbow and an elbow off the ring steps.
Well, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang make their way to ringside and Joe uses distraction to hit Bate from behind as they send him into the apron and guardrails. They return to the ring and Bate tries to get Joe up for an airplane spin. Joe with a headbutt to send Tyler into the corner. Joe with punches and kicks in the corner, but Bate chops. But Joe with a punch.
And then Joe with a butterfly swing and a butterfly suplex for a near fall. Joe works on the neck with a nerve hold and then he applies a Japanese strangle hold. Bate gets to his feet and he tries to reverse the hold, but Joe's able to rotate Tyler around the hold. Bate tries to reverse the hold and Coffey tries to block, but Bate finally applies the hold. Joe with a snapmare and overhead belly-to-belly throw for a near fall.
Joe with a single arm Japanese stranglehold. Joe with a shoulder, but Bate responds with punches. Joe blocks the jab, but Bate with a punch and a running European uppercut into the corner. Joe with a splash, but Bate with a European uppercut. Bate cannot get Joe on his shoulders, but Bate hits a Rana, followed by a standing shooting star press for a near fall. Tyler sets up for the Tyler Driver 97, but Mark gets on the apron and Joe with a punch. Joe with a power slam for a near fall.
Trent Seven makes his way to the ring and he's limping due to the knee brace on his left knee. Joe with a waist lock and Bate blocks a German suplex. Bate with elbow and he gets Joe on his shoulders, but Joe with elbows to escape. Bate runs into a boot and Joe goes for a double jump cross body, but Bate moves and Joe hits the mat. Joe misses a discus clothesline, but Bate does not miss for a rebound clothesline. Tyler finally gets Joe on his shoulders for the airplane spin. Then he completes the round trip on the airplane. Joe with punches, but Bate with a rolling kick. Bate sets for the Tyler Driver 97, but Mark and Wolfgang attack Bate while Trent helped to make the save and the referee's call for the bell.
So the winner is Tyler Bate by disqualification.
After the match, Wolfgang runs Trent into the corner. They continue their attack on Bate and Seven.
Pete Dunne's music plays and he makes his way to the ring and he goes after Joe. Bate and Seven gain control and that sends Wolfgang, Mark and Joe to the floor.
So Pete Dunne, not only has he got people coming up to him, but now he will gun help people. He helped Trent Seven and Tyler Bate against the Coffee Kingdom, as it was in Joe and Mark, along with Wolfgang. It's fucking brilliant from Pete Dunne. Match number 2 is Dan Maloney versus Ligero.
Well, Maloney pie faces Ligero and Ligero with a kick and a side headlock. Maloney tries to get out of the headlock, but Ligero holds on. Maloney puts Ligero on the apron, but misses a punch. Ligero with a leg lariat and a near fall. Ligero with a jawbreaker and he tries for head scissors takedown, but Maloney blocks it. Ligero gets to his feet and he kicks Maloney. Ligero with a head scissors takedown from the turnbuckles for a near fall.
Well, Maloney pushes Ligero away, but Ligero with an elbow down with a spine buster for a near fall, and then with seated abdominal stretch with punches to the ribs, and then with a forearm to the back and a chop in the corner. Hits him with another chop and a third chop as well. Hits him with a slam and he goes to the turnbuckles, but takes too much time. Ligero and lose when Maloney goes for a leg drop. And then Ligero with a kicks and he goes up top and avoids a charge by Maloney. And then he hits a seated senton splash. Maloney misses punches Ligero with insecurity, and then he hits a slingshot slice spread number 2 for a near fall.
Ligero sends Maloney to the floor and then with a plancha onto Maloney. They return to the ring and Ligero hits a springboard tornado DDT for the 3 count.
Yeah, your winner, Ligero. Match number 3 is Amir Jordan and Kenny Williams versus Zack Gibson and James Drake.
Williams and Gibson start things off. They lock up and Gibson with that. Gibson with a side headlock, Williams with a wrist lock, but Gibson takes Williams down and applies a wrist lock and tags in Drake. Drake with a kick and a punch. Williams lands on his feet on a belly-to-belly suplex attempt. Williams and O'Connor roll for a near fall. Williams with an O'Connor roll for a near fall. Williams with a springboard back elbow for another near fall.
Williams sends Drake into the turnbuckles and tags in Jordan, who hits a hip toss and then he does some dancing. Then a crossbody and a dropkick for a near fall headlock, and Gibson makes a blind tag. He hits a double thrust to the throat, then connects with a forearm. Then with a forearm and a snapmare, followed by a kick to the back, and then Gibson with a cobra clutch.
Drake makes the tag and he hits Jordan with a forearm and he gets a near fall. Drake with a European uppercut and punches. Gibson tags in, they double team Jordan in the corner. Gibson with a slam, he tabs in Drake and drops Drake on top of Jordan for a near fall. Drake with a reverse chin lock. Jordan is sent into the turnbuckles. Gibson tags in and kicks.
Yeah, Gibson pushes Jordan down and he tells Jordan to come at him. Jordan misses with a few punches and Gibson with a dropkick for a near fall. Gibson is trapped arm suplex for a near fall. He then returns to a cobra clutch. Jordan with punches, but Gibson with a forearm. Jordan gets over Gibson, but Gibson makes a tackle for Jordan can make the tag. Drake tags in and hits a forearm. Drake misses a dropkick to the corner, and Jordan tries to make the tag. Gibson tags in, and Williams is tags in. Williams with a dropkick, and he knocks Drake down on the apron. Williams with punches and a victory gourdbuster for a near fall. Williams is running to the turnbuckles, and Drake tags in. Gibson with shoulder in the corner. Jordan catches Williams on a double suplex attempt. Williams and Jordan send Drake and Gibson to the floor. Williams with a baseball slide to Gibson, and Drake and Jordan and Williams with a stereo suicide dive.
Drake stops Williams on the turnbuckles and Gibson tags in. They hit Ticket to Ride for the 3 count. And your winners are James Drake and Zack Gibson.
We see Rhea Ripley and Tony Storm walking in the back.
And WWE NXT UK General Manager Johnny Saint makes his way to the ring with the NXT UK Women's Championship title bout as we go to commercial.
And here we go. Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley have made their way down. We are going to crown a new NXT UK champion. Who is your pick, Dan?
It's got to be my girl, Toni Storm.
Well, I've got to go Rhea Ripley in this one. There's a bonus point on the line, isn't there, Dan? You said
No.
that. No, you said bonus point.
No.
So we'll go bonus point.
No.
Winner of this one. I've got to go Rhea Ripley in this one. She's so dominating.
If there's a battle, I'm going to go for Rhea Ripley.
Storm, with the hip attack, she's starting early. What does Storm have to do if she wants to win this one, Dan?
Well, we know that Rhea Ripley is a brutal, unrelentless competitor, and she will do whatever it takes to become the first ever NXT UK Women's Champion. Toni Storm needs to weather all the punishment that Rhea Ripley can dish out and just, keep on a relentless attack, try and wear Ripley down and just get the victory. She knows what it takes to become in a tournament, so hopefully she can win this.
Well, and not make any mistakes, and she's just made one. She started strong, had Rhea Ripley on the barricade, went in for a hip attack, and Ripley moved, and now it's Rhea's chance to beat up on Toni Storm. Sends her into the apron, and Rhea Ripley comes back out to break the count. Very clever of her, going after Toni Storm. And Ripley has gone through the competition. Let's not forget, beating Dakota Kai in the last round, and then first up, of course, beating Zia Brookside.
And of course, Toni Storm, she came through this one, beating James's pick in the Mae Young Classic. She beat Issa Dawn in the quarters, and then she beat Ginny in the semis to get here. And Toni Storm looks in a lot of trouble there. She may have got an injury after running back first into barricade.
Well, no, what happened there was she was going to go for the Storm Zero, looked like, on the apron. And unfortunately for her, Rhea Ripley backdropped her as she hit the apron there, the hardest part of the ring. And then not only impact there, came onto the wafer thin mats and then hit barricade as well. So she's going to have serious lower back issues. Rhea Ripley, that's why at the moment she's very happy about this situation. It's a major match for Rhea Ripley.
Major match.
22 years old going into this. If she can beat the winner of the Mae Young Classic, it will send a huge statement to everybody, not just in the UK roster, but in the WWE. And Ripley now mounting Storm. Big punches raining down. And Storm, again, like you said, Dan, getting beaten down. Will she make a big comeback in this match right now?
Well, this is what Storm has been known for. She's been known to weather the storm and then come back and hit the Storm Zero for the victory.
Rhea Ripley, Irish whip in a corner. You can see the pain and anguish on Toni Storm's face.
And that back is certainly going to have a bullseye drawn onto it.
And Rhea Ripley now, brilliant shoulder thrust in the corner. She's showing experience beyond her years here, backing Storm up in the corner. Breaker when the referee does it. When asks. Oh my God, and Rhea Ripley there. Huge kick to the back of Toni Storm. Well, I tell you what, Rhea Ripley is in control of this one. She's just got the submission at the moment. Just wearing down Storm. But oh, look at Storm managing to turn it.
Toni Storm fighting back with some thunderous punches to the head. Now she's up to her feet. Big forearms. Side headlock. But Rhea Ripley with a shin buster.
Oh my. And that was it for now. Ripley tying her up. We saw this move with Dakota Kai. We told her Cloverleaf standing up. And Storm in serious trouble now.
Yes, James, that is certainly a modified Cloverleaf there. And it is one of the most brutal moves you can put on the legs of someone. And especially with Toni Storm's back injury there.
You are right about that, Dan.
Nigel.
Sorry, you're right about that, Nigel. And Storm can't get out of the merriment.
Toni Storm manages to get to the bottom rope, though.
And a huge kick by Rhea Ripley. Sickening impact.
Yes, and Ripley has been relentless throughout this whole match so far.
Just screaming at Toni Storm. Storm now responding with punches and slaps any way she can. Ripley's rocked at the moment. Storm dodges.
Looking for that snap German for a deadlift German now, though.
Oh, Ripley's just too strong. Breaks the hold. Kick to that injured midsection. And she's smirking.
No, Jamie, she hasn't got a cigarette in her gob. She's got a smile on her face because she knows Toni Storm is injured.
And now she's going to go for that
hits
suplex.
The snap German suplex.
Well, after Rhea Ripley's suplex, like I said, Storm with a German.
Keeps a release. Is she going for the Three Amigos?
Of Germans. But no, Rhea Ripley stops it. Comes in and Storm with a headbutt. Rocking Ripley.
Finally hitting that third German suplex with the bridge. Oh, but Ripley managing to kick out.
Oh. I saw most of Rhea Ripley's then. And now Storm looking to finish off Rhea Ripley. Come running in.
Shining wizard there.
And now Storm trying to build a bit of momentum. Ripley's is in trouble at the moment, but Storm's taking a hell of a lot of damage.
Oh, hip attack. She's weathering the pain and double knees to the chest.
And now Ripley may be out being pulled in. Storm with a cover. One, two. Oh. And Ripley somehow gets his shoulder up at 2.
2.
How close Storm was there to having just a fantastic 2018.
No.
Tony Storm. So what's been the chant of the night as Storm looks to put away Ray Ripley now, Dan?
Happy birthday to Noam.
It must be. Drop kick by Ripley. Go for the cover. Storm kicks out. Yeah, happy birthday is good. I like the Jushin Thunder Liger chant.
Jushin Thunder Liger was good.
I like Fight Forever chant. I think that's quite cool. And now Ripley Irish ripping Storm in the corner.
The Storm jumping over the top. Ripley hitting the ring post.
And now she's in serious trouble. Storm rolling up. Ripley.
1, 2. Oh, but Ripley managing to kick out.
Well, I think that was maybe Storm's a bit of a mistake. Bridging over too much. Forgot about the injured midsection. But now she's going to look to put Ripley away. Storm 0.
Oh, but Ripley deposits Storm over the top rope to the outside, eliminates her from the Royal Rumble.
Well, that's the second time she's trying to hit it, and the second time it's come back to haunt her. Ripley sending Storm into barricade, not once,
but twice.
And now throws her back in. Is Storm easy prey? Ripley rolls her through, goes for the cover.
1, 2.
No.
Oh, Storm managing to kick out.
Oh. And now Ripley looking to finish it with a pump handle slam to Toni Storm.
No, Storm with a backslide. Kick to the midsection, looking for Storm 0 for a third time.
Oh,
but her back just gives out.
She can't. Too much injury to the midsection. And now Rhea Ripley.
Plant Storm. 1, 2, 3.
And we have got a new NXT UK champion. And look how surprised most of the crowd are that Rhea Ripley got the job done. She has beaten Toni Storm. People might say it's an upset, but Dan, I think it's the right move. What are your thoughts?
It certainly is an upset. Toni Storm has been on one hell of a run, been undefeated for quite a while now. All throughout the Mae Young Classic. But it's going to give something for Toni Storm to fight for. Something to fight back and prove that she's worthy of holding the NXT UK Women's Championship.
Yeah, I think that meshed well, so it'd be a feud I wouldn't mind seeing. More Storm versus Rhea Ripley, I think that's a very good match. Ripley got the win, and I think the heel champion works sometimes better. I know Dunn's the exception to the rule, but I think Rhea Ripley, she's impressed me enough to think she can carry it,
I wouldn't class Dunn as a heel.
No, I'm saying he's the exception to the rule because he's the kind of face now, isn't he? So, I mean, usually it is better with a heel champion.
I wouldn't class Dunn as a face either.
What is he, like just a tweener?
Pete Dunne.
It's Pete Dunne.
Enough said.
And I think that's what we found out on today's show. Pete Dunne is Pete Dunne. We've kind of seen everything as Triple H and Johnny Saint congratulate Rhea Ripley, given the belt. Dan, what we're going to do, we see the rest of the NXT UK roster stand on stage during the ceremony. What's been your favourite thing? We've seen NXT UK, Rev Pro, World of Sport we talked about. What's been your favourite thing in everything?
Aside from Lord Gideon Grey, it has probably been Zack Sabre Jr.
Really?
Yeah.
That submission was freakishly good, wasn't it, at the end?
That was very innovative.
It was a great match for Kushida. We've seen some great stuff today, though. Noam Dar versus Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne versus Danny Burch. Pete Dunne versus anybody, basically. The NXT UK Women's title be on the line. We've got look forward to the NXT Tag Team titles. We've seen Mustache Mountain, of course, and Tyler Bate. I think it's been really, really good, and UK talent. There's a lot of stuff on, especially when they do 2 hours every week. Don't get me wrong. But if you do catch up with it, it is worthwhile. It is, it's worth it, isn't it? These 24 hours we spent watching all these programs, it has been worth it. So I would say it's good. Final thoughts on the whatever we've watched today, Dan, before we move on.
Yeah, if these are anything to go by, the whole UK wrestling scene is, and it's definitely got a chance. And, you can kind of see why that NXT have opened its UK division just because of the impact that it's made on NXT TV and on the WWE TV as well.
Well, there's been some positives and negatives about this, so we're going to move on to NXT, UK news now. And Triple H announced on Twitter, NXT returns to the place it began, the place we first took over. Blackpool will stream live from the Empress Ballroom on January 12th, 2019 on the WWE Network. So we are getting TakeOver Blackpool down. It's huge news. What are your thoughts on it?
I couldn't be more happy. You know, it is, again, it is, you know, what UK is all about. Yeah. And, you know, having its own TakeOver event, will it kind of draw a crowd to it? Will it kind of, you know, encourage WWE to bring a pay-per-view over to England as well?
I'm hoping so. And I feel a bit sorry for 205 Live going for that long and not actually having an event to go to. It's good that a TakeOver event can take place in Blackpool, and there's actually meaning to the storylines now as well, you know what I mean?
Well, you say that about 205 Live. They kind of started making their impact on the kick-off event. They finally moved to the main card, and the two guys absolutely fucking killed it.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But more news on the TakeOver event as well.
Well, several matches were then announced for the show over the next couple of nights, leaving the lineup looking like this.
So we've got a no DQ match, Eddie Dennis versus Dave Mastiff.
We've got the NXT UK Tag Team Championship, Grizzled Young Veterans, which is James Drake and Zack Gibson, versus Mustache Mountain, which is Trent Seven and Tyler Bate.
You got UK Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley versus Mae Young Classic winner Toni Storm in a rematch that we just watched now.
And we've got the NXT UK Championship, Pete Dunne defending his title against Joe Coffey.
So it kind of makes perfect sense what we've seen, really, haven't we? You know, we've seen Joe Coffey be dominant with the group. We know how good Pete Dunne is. Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm, of course. We know about Mustache Mountain. We're going to see the Grizzled Young Veterans trying to, you know, take over, so to speak, in the next few weeks of NXT TakeOver UK, I guess. And, of course, Eddie Dennis has been squashing people. And same with Dave Mastiff, so it's two big men, basically. Well,
yes,
at least one further back we can see we added to this 4-match card ahead of the 12th of January. But above all, that was announced in Liverpool over the past few nights.
Well, the tag title match concludes of a 2-round tournament with Grizzled Young Veterans overcoming Wolfgang and Mark Coffey at the first stage, earning the right to face Bate and Seven, who defeated Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews. Ripley versus Storm, meanwhile, is a rematch of the NXT UK Women's title tournament finals that were taped in August, although the competition is still playing out on weekly TV.
And yes, we will be back again before TakeOver, which we will bring you. I will announce it now. We're going to bring it to you live. We're going to for NXT TakeOver Blackpool, which will be coming to you. So we're going to be having 4 live shows in January now. It's going to be quite the event. Not discussing it with Dan yet, but breaking news. We are going to be live for TakeOver Blackpool. And of course, we'll bring you all the latest NXT UK news and the shows before it. But come on, let's start now with the final 4 episodes.
And not forgetting, we've also got our 200th show as well.
Yeah, I was talking about what a month January is. Not only are we live for NXT TakeOver Blackpool, not only are we live for NXT TakeOver Phoenix and the Royal Rumble 2019, but yeah, the WNR 200 on the Royal Rumble weekend on the Friday. It's going to steal the show. I feel sorry for TakeOver because it's going to have to follow the WNR 200 when it happens on Friday. And there ain't nobody going to put a better show than the WNR 200. Even you've been doing research for it, Dan.
I have indeed, yes. Listening to our first lot of podcasts, and we have certainly changed an awful lot. We've seen 2 co-presenters come and go.
Yeah.
We've seen a butler come and go. We've sung Christmas songs. We've had really weird and random calls, but some of them have paid off, and you know we'll reveal all in the live show. But hopefully, it's going to be a humdinger. But before that, James, we have a Christmas special. We have the year-end predictions.
No. What a month.
We've
what a
kept them
month.
in a sealed envelope from the beginning of this year or the end of last year. We made predictions on who's going to be champions, and I've forgotten all of mine. I'm sure James has forgotten his. I'm currently, 10 points?
10 points.
10 points ahead.
We have got a pay-per-view coming up.
We have one pay-per-view.
We've got the Mixed Match Challenge, which is the bonus point as well. And also, like you say, with a year-end prediction. So it is not over yet. Just enjoyable to listen to it. Like I say, we've got the Christmas special. We've got the WNR year-end awards. Obviously, match of the year and everything like that. But it's what a couple of months we've got in store. Well, you talked about the event. Would it do well? And the event sold out in less than 3 hours today. Triple H tweeted about the success at the box office.
The NXT No, the NXT fans in the UK are a force to be reckoned with. NXT TakeOver is sold out, and it took less than 3 hours. You can still be part of this historic weekend. Get your tickets to NXT UK Blackpool on Sunday, January the 13th now. We are NXT at NXT UK.
They're going to do some tapings on the Sunday night as well. But he also said, I'm excited. It's going to be something like we've been working for a long time. Just a few hours after landing in London on a flight from the US.
The talent pool here is so deep and so good that it's been something that I've wanted to pull out in a bigger way to the world. The talent pool here is so deep and so good, it's been something that I've been wanting to put out in a bigger way to the world. I've been really excited about this product for some time, and I'm excited to be able to show it to the world finally.
Yeah, they're amazing talent here. I just want to put it out to the world. I'll be able to... You just done that, haven't you? Yeah, cool. A new report indicates that WWE is looking to substantially restrict the number of promotions and talent will be allowed to wrestle in.
Well, a Wrestle Talk report out today said that following this weekend's tapings in Liverpool, a number of talent were given new contracts. These new contracts come with a pay rise, but also with new caveats. With new caveats. For one, they can only wrestle under the WWE and WWE partner groups, which include Progress, ICW, Fight Club Pro, Attack Pro Wrestling, Future Shock, Over the Top Wrestling, and XWX. They will be allowed to take the rest of their advertised booking through to the end of the year.
Additionally, PW Insider report that these promotions won't be able to film WWE contracted talent, leaving them in dark matches.
The NXT UK talent under these new deals reportedly won't be able to wrestle against talent contracted to promotions such as Ring of Honor, New Japan Pro Wrestling, World of Sport, or any other promotion that WWE considers major. They also won't be able to perform for a promotion if there isn't a paramedic there.
Well, that kind of makes sense with the paramedic, but the other thing is a bit overkill. More local, lesser-known promotions in the UK will likely be hit hardest. Pro Wrestling Chaos announced this morning that Flash Morgan Webster, El Ligero and James Drake, all under W contract, will no longer be able to perform at their events. Tidal Wrestling also announced that El Ligero will no longer appear at their final show of 2018.
Before the new contracts, UK talent were only banned from promotions that has significant streaming or television presence, like Rev Pro or Defiant. The report stresses that these new restrictions don't apply to everyone on the UK roster, but does apply to the majority.
That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it, at the moment? You know, it sounds like trying to take control of everything over in the UK. But one fan tweeted out to Dunn, saying, I don't think you're truly seeing it from the fan's perspective. You only think for what's best for business for yourself, Pete Dunn. You're selling out to the big American corporation and forgetting your grassroots.
Well, the longest running current WWE champion didn't like hearing that whatsoever. So he just had to comment and not only defend himself, but explain exactly what is going on.
Put 12 years, a countless amount of money and months away from home at a time and attempt to get your dream job. When you finally achieve your goal and you can create a great life for your family, I'll make sure to discredit your hard work and tell you you're a sellout.
Without the hard work of myself and countless other wrestlers with the goal of signing to a major company, there wouldn't even be a thriving UK scene to begin with. Support independent wrestling and support independent wrestlers as they take the next step in their career.
Exactly. Therefore, you really need to watch what you say online because you never know if someone like the Bruiserweight will be paying attention. Dunn made some pretty good points in his defence, but in all reality, no matter who's upset at this situation, it's not the wrestlers' fault they're in this situation. Because it was WWE who demanded exclusivity.
Well, many fans have been worried about the future of the United Kingdom regional wrestling scene after NXT UK deals were reportedly tightened with additional restrictions. However, NXT UK Pete Dunne isn't among them. He believes the same scene that propelled him to stardom will be just fine.
He said British wrestling is safe, who most competed at War Games. He said it will continue to grow. The talent pool is deep. Your favourite wrestlers are achieving goals and taking steps in their careers. He went on to warn fans not to believe every speculative story they see online, and then said that the scene is alive and well.
Well, we noted before how a recent report revealed that WWE was imposing restrictions on their talents from the UK division, which means that they won't be able to work with other promotions in the area.
The only exception for this rule were the promotions which would have a work relation with the company, and now a new report has revealed some interesting details about this.
Well, the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter reveals that the agreement WWE has done with the indie promotions has a clause that allows them to buy and shut down the company if they want to.
Part of the WWE's working agreement originally offered and agreed to, where WWE would have the right for the next several years, if they choose, to purchase companies for agreed upon price, high six figures in at least some cases, and then shut them down so they're not going to compete with themselves, with the idea this would take place when they're running full-time schedules in those markets.
Well, while it's most likely WWE would not invoke this clause unless a serious dispute breaks out between them and the partner's promotion, it's still interesting to know that they have such a clause in the contract.
I mean, this is very interesting because when Vince McMahon had the global or the American takeover of the territories, he brought everybody out of there. Is he doing the same thing with UK division? It sounds that way at the moment, or maybe Triple H is behind this. Is it a good or bad thing, Dan?
I think it is. It has the potential to be a good. Well, you know, obviously not being able to buy out companies and shut them down so they no longer compete with themselves. But, you know, it is, as we've seen with NXT, when some of the best talent moves up to the main roster, other people come in to replace it. And, you know, that is what they can do on the local independent scene. And I have no doubt that they will still thrive and they will still, you know, kind of grow under their own steam.
I mean, they're on Free Sports now, you know what I mean? They're doing their own thing. There is still chance, there is still success outside of WWE, whether that be in Britain. And Britain is so hot right now, and that's why WWE are paying attention. They want to take over the world, no doubt. They want to do European, they've already done German tryouts and stuff like this as well. So it'd be something to keep an eye on. But as long as the action's good, and as long as people are getting paid all right, then like Pete Dunne says, it's good for wrestling because there are going to be people there. All right, so a bit of NXT news now, continuing. And just as you would have it, we've been talking about World of Sport, and Justin Sysum, the World of Sport champion, has kind of dropped a pipe bomb. He has wrote an open letter expressing his opinion of the recent changes to the scene. So, Dan, these are the words of Justin Sysum.
These words are entirely my own and do not represent any promotion or individual other than myself. Last week, it came to light through independent UK promotions who have been left uncertain of the future that WWE NXT UK talent have apparently been signed to new contracts, allegedly preventing many of them from outside of the WWE banner from the start of 2019. Talent may honour independent bookings until the end of the year, but are seemingly being prevented from wrestling anyone who is currently contracted to NJPW, Impact, Ring of Honor and World of Sport and many other promotions. You can read more about this and a potential impact it will have on many wrestling news websites.
WWE have a history of trying and succeeding to conquer smaller promotions. Many believe that the NXT UK brand will only reignite this year once they caught wind of wrestling returning to British television without them, signing their roster within weeks of the TV tapings being announced. I personally fear for a future not too far away where WWE has succeeded in its mission and as a consequence destroyed much of our thriving domestic scene.
If they eventually decide that they no longer need the expense of a UK brand and pack up, this will leave us with a decimated British independent scene. Wrestlers will find themselves with less places and yet still have to bow to the king that is WWE, so that one day they may be considered for a job.
I understand completely why my friends in the business would take these contracts. As for many, it's been a dream since they were little kids to work for the WWE. I'm very proud of their achievements and wish them the greatest success. Fortunately for me, my dreams are different.
I hereby pledge to follow in the footsteps of the great British wrestlers that have come before me, to continue to build the UK scene into something to be reckoned with. One that can and stand alone. Despite WWE's best effort, unintentional or otherwise, to halt the incredible progress, I will not pander to anything that restricts our thriving scene. I will not tiptoe around it. I do not want a job with them.
I want to let every promoter, ring crew member, event staff and fellow wrestler know that we can band together and lead our industry out of these potential stormy waters. We don't have to take anything lying down and we can continue to provide a thriving scene for fans and talent alike.
I encourage the fans of our great wrestling scene to continue to attend independent shows. I promise you, the depth of talent in this country means you will not leave disappointed. It's your choice who the next stars are. All of the NXT UK talent got their start here with the support from you, and it doesn't have to end with them.
I'll sooner die on my sword in defeat than watch what makes our industry so free, diverse and inclusive for both wrestlers and fans alike get eroded away as much as part of the corporate strategy, bigger share price and global market position.
Thank you, your superhuman Justin Sysum.
Well, I'm glad Justin Sysum. I was thinking to myself when we were talking about British wrestling scene, what Justin Sysum thought, and now I'm glad we actually got reaction. What are your thoughts on this open letter before we get the reaction from other people?
Initially, because I've read this a few times now, And to me, it seems like a jealous, bitter person who hasn't made it in WWE, has tried and, and failed. And then he goes on to say that they're overtaking everything, but he says that the depth of the talent in this country means you will not leave disappointed. So he's saying that WWE's taken everyone, but there's loads of talent.
I know, yeah.
Around.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't make sense. He kind of contradicts himself in ways. But a couple of people have had a reply to him. WWE UK champion Pete Dunne said, every step myself and other members of the NXT UK roster have taken within WWE over the past 2 years have been nothing but a benefit to the independent scene. Don't disregard that because of hearsay and rumours. And
Justin Sysum replies, you guys are included in the part about great British wrestlers who came before me. You're a credit to the independent scene, but unfortunately it seems you're not a part of it anymore. This is much more about the organisation and not the individuals. Thanks, reading.
Yeah, maybe ran out of space. NXT UK is a great opportunity for all UK-based performers to showcase their talents and make a living doing what they love doing. This opening act of British wrestling is based off nothing but rumours. Don't believe everything you read, and that was from Tyler Bate.
And Justin Sysum responds with, I was very careful to make sure that I praise you guys for your achievements. It is important people know. Now I'm trying to get British wrestling to the point where people can make a living without...
Trent7 says, hang your head in shame, Justin. We all worked incredibly hard over the past few years to create a thriving scene for all levels of talent to perform on. Delete your tweet and stop attention seeking.
And Sysum's response was, I stand by my words. Hopefully you gave it your full attention and read the whole thing. You are to thank for the great heights we have reached. I'm making a point that I want to go even further without WWE.
Well, Pete Dunne then said NXT coexists with independent scene in the US. The UK will be no different. Let's just take a look at how far British wrestling has come. 12 years ago when I started, this was not a career for anyone. Now it's attainable and thus a thriving scene of top quality has emerged. And like we said, WWE reportedly had an option to buy and shut down UK promotions, and that's why Rev Pro owner Aidan Cruden confirmed that he did not partner with the company. So I think for me, Justin Sysum wants a bit of not attention as such, but this gets him a little bit relevant now, doesn't it? This is the guy kind of, this is the dude who Pete Dunne and everybody like that, so I think there's a bit of this, and I think every right for Pete Dunne to kind of defend himself,
Yeah, but it kind of goes on to say, when, most people get into wrestling, they finally make it big. Where is it they make it big? It is in the WWE.
Yeah.
That is everyone's goals and aspirations. Even with me, when I started out as a carpenter, I wanted to be an apprentice carpenter, to finally make it to a carpenter, then to a business. And, everyone has goals and aspirations that they want to do, and they want to get to the very top of their respective games.
Yeah, I know, but sometimes, like we say, go back 15 years when the wrestlers only had the Saturday show to wrestle, at your local... swimming pool, and then they were a teacher throughout the rest of the week, and now you can actually have a British career, career in British wrestling, just working kind of independent and not having a so-called normal job. That's what Sysum maybe is trying to make a point at, but Pete Dunne is saying we made this so it is, and we look at the amount of promotions and the amount of stuff that is around. I think this is a case where British wrestling is not in any trouble soon, and to parallel it with the kind of American takeover that Vince McMahon did in the 80s, I don't think it's on that kind of grand scale, but it's like I said, Rev Pro said they do want to partner up with him. Now they've got their own show on Sky, so let's watch that. Nailed it.
Indeed, yes. Everyone has their own thoughts and feelings on this, and I think if NXT UK is going to be bringing more light to the UK wrestling scene, so more people are going to go, well, I'm going to go to my local one. There was one a couple of weeks ago in Canterbury, the town that we live, and that featured James Storm. I mean, he was in NXT and we was calling some of his matches from there, so you can still see talented wrestlers wherever you go in any county.
Yeah, and that leads us perfectly to tickets. So we've talked about Rev Pro in this episode. We've talked about World of Sport and NXT UK. So on Friday, February 15th, Rev Pro returned to London to the world-famous York Hall, Bethnal Green for High Stakes 2019. And they are bringing you a main event that's going to have the entire wrestling world talking when Will Ospreay goes one-on-one. This is the email I got from anyway. So this match is you don't want to miss, and because I'm part of the mailing list subscribers, they sent me a pre-sale which started, and we got the tickets. So we've got front row is £60.50 with booking fee for an independent show. That is quite pricey, isn't it, Dan? You know
that is rather pricey. Yeah. Second row is basically 50p short of £50.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so yeah, £5 face value on the night, but front row is all sold out for Rev Pro.
Yes, second row is also sold out, and it is, as I say, £49.50, including booking fee.
Yeah, or £45 on face value, but unfortunately it's gone. Third row, £38.50 or £35 face value. They're all sold out now.
Rows 4 and 5, £29.70 booking fee, £27 face value, sold out.
Floor seats, £24.20 or $22, all sold out.
Balcony tickets, unreserved, £35.20 booking fee, £32 face value, sold out. So basically the whole venue is sold out.
And that was within a kind of maybe 4 or 5 days after I got the email, rechecking it again and it being sold out. It was one of the shows I was so tempted, but we've got so much on coming up in the next few months. We just haven't got time for it at the moment. But it is worthwhile going to see it. And it shows Rev Pro's a hot program at the moment. Do you know what I mean? If they base it more on ECW than WCW as a promotion who their fans actually support the product financially, you can always have that kind of hardcore group. This is what I always want for the podcast. You have that hardcore group of people that are always willing to kind of you put money into the product, and it can only be 1,000 people, but that can sustain them throughout the year, you know. And someone like Pat coming along here to go to Rev Pro, that's a big slap in the face of the WWE as well, which, you know, I know Rev Pro probably don't intentionally want to do that, but that's what it is. So that's Rev Pro. We've got World of Sport tickets on sale as well.
Yes, and that is at the O2 Guildhall, Southampton, and performing the likes of Justin Sysum, Rampage, Grado, Adam Maxted, Viper, and 7 more.
Yeah, and basically they're all performing at these dates. Go and have a check at the tickets. The tickets are a lot cheaper. You get for £20 to £40, you'll be able to get really good seats for these, and yes, tickets are still available. Like I said, it's Friday the 18th of January, Saturday the 19th of January at Newport Centre in, of course, Newport.
Saturday 20th of January at 7:30. It is in Bournemouth, BIC, Soylent Hall. Sunday 20th of January, 7:30, Bournemouth, BIC, Soylent Hall.
Yeah, it's been cancelled now. So they couldn't sell out enough tickets for that. Friday the 25th of January, Victoria Hall, Stoke-on-Trent.
Saturday 26th of January, Tower Ballroom in Blackpool.
You've got Sunday the 27th of January at Beach Ballroom in Aberdeen.
Friday the 1st of February at 6:30, Scarborough Spa.
You've got 2nd of February at Derngate Theatre in Northampton.
And on Sunday 3rd of February, you've got York Hall, Bethnal Green in London.
Which is the same place as Rev Pro is having it. So within a max, you know, that's the 3rd of February that World of Sport is there. And like I said, 15th of February is going to be Pac versus Ospreay. I don't think World of Sport will have that much support with them. But it is worthwhile. If you're around any of those areas, show starts. I mean, I think the earliest show is 6:30, and that is your Scarborough show. But anything else there, I mean, like I said, you've got Justin Sysum. You can, you know, chant Pete Dunne at him if you ever go see him. Viper, who's great. Grado as well, which should be fun. Rampage Jackson is a good wrestler, so you know there's opportunities there. And then NXT UK or NXT or WWE shows even as well.
You've got Saturday, January the 12th at 8 p.m. in the Empress Ballroom in Blackpool. Yeah,
that's sold out. And then you've got NXT UK Live Blackpool Sunday, January 13th. That's at 6 p.m. Tickets are still on sale for that, and they'll be recording probably 4 or 5 episodes of the NXT UK programmes.
You've got WWE Live Belfast. That's Wednesday, May the 8th at 7:30, and that's at SSE Arena, Belfast, Northern Ireland.
You're looking for tickets now from about £40 onwards. You know, the WWE, the live shows are going to be a lot more expensive than kind of anything else. They're at Liverpool Echo Arena in obviously Liverpool, England on May 12th.
On May the 13th, they're at the O2 in London, England.
Yes, and
that is for Raw.
We shall be there as well. They're also at Bournemouth on May 13th, 7.
That'll probably be the SmackDown.
That'll be the SmackDown crew over there, yeah.
SmackDown Live in London on Tuesday, May the 14th at 7 at the O2 in London again.
Yeah, we'll be there as well, so if you want to come along, say hello to us. We'll be the guys in WNR gear. WWE Live Sheffield, that's May 16th on Thursday as well.
And WWE Live in Cardiff, Friday, May the 17th. At Cardiff Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, Wales.
Yeah, and after those tickets go out, we'll be back for the Download Festival, and of course they'll announce a November tour as well that WWE will do. So there is plenty of action around the UK, Dan, isn't there? You know, there's not really anything you can say. If you want to go watch pro wrestling, like I said, it's in the it's nearby, or you've got the kind of big shows that we've talked about that are here as well. You know.
Indeed, yes.
I think it's vital that people know that wrestling is nearby and it's attainable. Yes, it costs a bit of money, but you know, if you save up, it is definitely worthwhile.
Nothing at all, no. You know, I'm going to be more of the British talent come through, you know, not just on the NXT UK, but I'm going to be watching more Rev Pro and more World of Sport when it comes round.
Yeah, I mean, even you haven't had a British WWE champion yet, but we hope in the next 10 years there'll be hundreds, tens and hundreds of challenges for that. Okay, so that is it for part 2. Don't forget our next episode is WNR 193. It's WWE versus WCW for December, and that should be a crack as we build up towards Starrcade as well. But that's it for today. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at WWE Network Review or
at Vince McDan, WWE.
I'm at Jones across all the Google platforms, WWE Network Review and Google+. Send us an email at www.podcast@gmail.com. We're on Facebook.
Yes, Facebook. Come and find our page and give us a like with a WWE Network Review podcast. And come and find me and add me as a friend. I am Vince McDan.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, WWE Network Review Podcast. We've got clips on there. Podcasts that will go up on YouTube the same time we do other places like SoundCloud.
On your phone.
We're also on Spreaker Radio. We've got a live shows coming. We're live January 12th for NXT TakeOver Blackpool. Stitcher Radio and iTunes where you can download, subscribe, rate and review there. But that is it. It's been a pleasure watching British wrestling for the past 2 episodes, but now we concentrate on the Monday Night Wars. But until then, I have been James Rowlands, and as always, I was joined by
Dan White.
Thanks for listening, everybody, and bye.
Bye.